All right, and welcome to another episode of the Jumping the Rail podcast here on the JTR Podcast Network. This is Mark Rebin coming to you from the Noodles position in Champaign, Illinois, joined as always by my buddy Minderz. Minderz, we've been ready for this one since about October.
Yes. Since we knew it was going to happen, we've been ready for this one.
Yes, part part two. We're very excited. Just Incredible is going to be joining us here in about a half hour or so to continue with the conversation we started in October. Uh, I'll tell you, if you haven't heard that first interview, you should go check it out. There's some, it's a doozy. I think we
It's
can say
interesting. Very
it is
interesting.
interesting. Get some mental pictures you don't probably want necessarily, but I've
You,
t
you're
I've taken one
terrible,
to
Robin.
torment Minders.
Yeah, he has. All right.
Yes, yes, yes.
We got lots to
Got a
talk
lot to
about.
talk
Where are we
about though.
starting tonight?
So I want to start off with an epiphany that I just had today, Minders,
Okay.
because okay, so we know the Young Bucks have been wearing the white suits with the blood on it and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people have said that they think that they got the idea from Corny. Remember when the Midnight Express got
Right.
attacked by the original Midnight Express, the white suit variant that I believe you have somewhere.
Yes, I do. Where is it? Oh, it's all the way over there. Okay. Yeah, the white suit variant.
Okay, but I don't think that that's where they got the idea from
Oh, no?
because no, because as we both know, Jimmy Jacobs works in the office at AEW. I believe he works with creative. And I want to show you a picture from about 2007.
Okay.
That's Jimmy,
I totally forgot
white
about
suit.
that. I
My
totally forgot
friend,
about that.
I got a friend that was there. This was in Chicago,
Oh,
the
yeah,
beginning
I've
of the
watched
Age of the
this.
Fall. That you got Seth Rollins there with no shirt on. You got Necro
Uh-huh.
Butcher before he got nuts there on the right, and of course Jay Briscoe was the one hanging up from
Uh-huh.
the ladder match apparatus. Very graphic, probably the most graphic thing that Ring of Honor did for a long time. And then Jimmy would wear the suit after, like, on shows after that with the and it's still stained with Jay's blood on it.
Ugh,
And then there's a much less graphic,
much less
we'll say,
graphic.
coloring. But yeah,
At this
the
point, they
Bucks
look like
wearing the white
shit
suit with
stones.
the blood. Well, yeah, but I will not be surprised if Jimmy Jacobs gave them that idea.
I wouldn't either now that you say that.
Yeah,
Totally
AJ
forgot
says
about
Jimmy came
that.
to 0-1. Hey, Jimmy's a great guy. I met him a couple times on the Indies, and cool guy to talk to. I had questions, he answered them.
Yeah.
For those that may not remember, back in 2005, Jimmy actually worked a squash match with Eddie Guerrero on SmackDown.
Wow.
Got destroyed. This is after Eddie turned heel on Ray during the whole Dominic is my son angle.
Dominic is a son.
Whereas we know, they dropped the ball not having Dominic hanging from the apparatus in the ladder match.
Sure did. Sure did.
But anyway,
Hey, speaking of running the indies, how about we do this
hmm,
before we forget?
what do you got?
The Squared Circle Expo update.
The Squared Circle Expo #4 at the Wyndham Hotel in Indianapolis. Very excited. And you said you had some new information, Minder, so I'm gonna turn it over
We
to you.
we do. We have new information. Um, so far they've made more announcements. You'll have to let me
Okay.
know if you're excited about any of these. Okay.
All right.
So we have Brother Devon is coming to the Squared Circle,
Yes. I'm hoping that means Bully Ray's not far behind.
right? I
Hopefully.
think you're going to be excited about this one. I know you're
Okay.
an NWA guy.
I am.
But Bobby Fulton is coming to the Squared Circle.
That's that is awesome. I love the Fantastics. I have to
Uh,
get a glittery vest for the occasion with the bow tie.
you know what? I might have to wear my I Love Ref shirt because Mike Chioda is going to be there.
Nice. There was a time when Kyoto had the best mullet in the WWF back in the early 90s.
um, and one of my favorites from last year, and I'm excited she's going to be back again this year because we had a blast with her after this the big match that Squared Circle puts on Saturday, and that's Victoria.
Hmm.
She was so much fun at
Yes.
karaoke.
Oh yeah, she was a ball. She was having time of her life.
She was a blast.
I think she
Mustafa
enjoyed my wife
Ali,
singing.
she did. She did.
Yes. Mustafa
Oh, I'm
Ali. That's a
sorry.
good. That's a heck of a pickup.
Yep. Missa Kate, and I
Okay.
remember seeing her on that NWA pay per view that I watched just recently for the X Division Women's Championship. She was in
Oh
there.
yes, 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 yes.
And we get Effie, which we'd already talked about Effie.
Yes, but
We
when we
talked about
talk about
Effie.
Effie, he was only going to be there for the one night
He
on the
is only
Friday.
going to be there for one night, Friday night only.
I thought this. I thought they said he was going to be
Nope,
there
that
both
was
nights now.
Lawler. That was Lawler that you had me ask about.
Gotcha.
Um,
But
but guess who else is joining him now?
well, I do know this, but I'll say the other half of the Bussy tag team, Alley Catch.
Alley Catch. Yep. Um, they've made another announcement for the Parade of Champions.
Okay,
And that is
that's
Trey
the Saturday
Lamar.
show for the wrong.
Yes, Trey Lamar versus Jake Christ.
Okay, Jake Chris, heck of a talent in the Ohio area. Might know him from
Mm-hmm.
Impact.
And then here are the ones that they just released within the past hour.
Oh,
Now,
these I
how
don't
many
know
are
them.
we up to now? How many are we up to now? Like 70 at
Get
least?
guess
We got to be
at least
close.
it seems like it's got to be right around there.
So, the one they just released an hour ago is Paul Burchill, which
Okay.
you had to explain to me who Paul Burchill was.
Yes,
Because I know I'm
I
in.
may be the minority. I really liked the pirate gimmick in the mid 2000s from Paul and on SmackDown.
And then here's the one that I'm super excited about, and that's Kevin
Okay.
Thorne. Kevin Thorne
Yes,
is
Kevin
going to be
Thorne.
there. So excited. So we got Mordecai on the way.
How
So
did you feel about the
cool.
Mordecai gimmick, Minders?
I loved it. But I'm a little dark and twisted. So,
Oh, that's Burchell. Yeah, it's
oh,
Katie Lee, not his real sister, but yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm a little twisted, so I liked Mordecai.
yeah,
Kind of.
he was
Yeah.
still really green when he was up there, but he
Well,
was supposed
yeah.
to be a feud for Taker, but it wound up not happening.
Well, I could understand that, but yeah. So that's what they've announced so far. So that's where we're at with our Scored Circle Expo news.
Very nice. We're very excited about it.
And do you realize that's like only like 4 weeks away?
I know. Where does the time go?
4 weeks. I'm so excited. 4 or 5 weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
They did say to where'd it go? Please be advised that the following tickets are now approaching very low numbers. Saturday single day admission, there's about 250 tickets left. Jeff Hardy concert live, less than 15 tickets left. And the SCX
I
Parade of
figured that'd be a hot
Champions,
ticket.
yeah. And the Parade of Champions live wrestling show on Saturday night, which is the one with Jake Oldman, with Cardona,
Right.
with Steph DeLander,
Manser. Yeah.
Manser.
Mance
There's
Warner.
less than
My guy.
there's less than 15 tickets left. So that
Yeah.
room's
And
gonna
I
be
told
packed.
yeah. And Manders, I told you I'm making the hard pitch to Manser at the expo because we want to get him on the show.
Yeah, I would
Him
like
and
to get
Effie
him.
both.
Yes.
But yeah.
I want to get
Med
Lord
Dancer
Crew on
once.
here, but
Okay. Hey, if you can make it happen, Menders. But
all right.
probably the good thing is
But if I
that the
get
show
Lord,
we
if I
know
get
you're not
Lord
going to be
Crew
here for.
on, yeah, you already have a guest, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
But yeah, Lord, if I get Lord Crew on, I got to get Aaron Williams on with him. We're gonna have to do a tag team because we gotta do Cincinnati's Most Wanted because I
Well, yeah.
love those guys.
Uh, just to pop AJ, you ought to try to get Count. What's his name from the Midwest?
Ah, yes.
I forget his. I always
The
forget his name. He's
the
Count
the
something.
count that showed up to the wrestling show that he was
Well,
a
hey,
vampire. That was
yeah, he's a count, of course.
yeah, he was a vampire that had a sunburn. It was a little disturbing.
He's an anomaly. But
Yeah, that's interesting. Actually, if we got Merc on, I think we'd pop AJ more.
ah, thank you, Noctis, Count
Noctis.
Noctis. Thank you,
Thanks,
Bari.
Bari.
I wanted to say noxious, like obnoxious, but I knew that wasn't quite right.
No, that was what AJ did to him. Because he started counting like the count. Yeah, the vampire with the farmer's tan.
And in AJ's defense, I would have done the same thing if I was there.
Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun.
Good times, good times. All right.
Now,
Well,
where would you
Minderz,
like
is
to
there
go?
anything
Now
else that we need to know?
we got all the fun stuff out of the way. Now, where are we going?
All right. Well, we have. I've got a little topic I wanted to discuss. We'll get this out of the way before our guest arrives. We still got some time. But I had a question that I wanted to run by you and also everybody in the chat because I want to get everybody's thoughts on this. Uh, so just a general question I came up with: who does Tony Khan need that can really help AEW? And I'm not just talking wrestlers. I'm talking across the board people that could contribute something that could really benefit the company. That's not, one of the Buckaroos college high school friends.
I'm not gonna lie, when I first
And
read
I
this,
have,
I thought you said what? And I was gonna say he needs to grow a set, but I guess that's not gonna
well,
work.
there is that. So
um,
so I have four names. I want to see who you say first because I want to see if there's any that we agree with.
well, I think he needs to start. This is the thing. I don't know if it's one. I thought about this, and I thought long and hard about this, and I couldn't come up with who's going to save Tony. I'm not sure it's savable. I feel like we're
I'm
watching
not
the
gonna
downfall of AEW right before our eyes.
I'm not gonna go that far. I think it's gonna get to the point where Shad finally puts his foot down with the boy and says, "Hey, you gotta change your philosophies and start trying to make a profit." But let me run my. I got four names here. I'm gonna run them by you.
Okay.
See what you think. All right,
Okay.
number one, yeah, Fit Finley
Yeah. Which he
because I
already
want Fit.
has, right?
No, he
Oh,
doesn't have
okay.
Fit, but you bring Fit in to work backstage, book the women, because that was his specialty when he was an agent for WWE.
Yeah.
And everybody always says such great things about Fit and how good he was.
And the boys
Uh,
aren't wrong in the chat right now.
yeah, Bart, he doesn't trust anyone enough to let anyone help. He's naive is the main thing.
Throw up
Uh,
AJ's comment there
yeah,
because
AJ's got a
he's
point
got a
too.
lot of
He
points.
he already has who he's. Yeah, I mean these are people like to talk to like Tony directly that he should be listening to. The guys I've got aren't necessarily, well, they can do that, but they also have other fields of expertise here. So Fitz my first name. Brian Hebner, I think they should bring in as a referee
Is he going to teach
because
the
Lord
corpse
knows
ref how
they
to
need
ref?
and Aubrey to not ham it
All of
up
them, please.
incessantly while
Yeah.
she's. Paul Turner's okay. Rimsberg's okay.
Yeah.
Aubrey and Rick Knox are the issue.
Yes. Now, is that because I think that's because they want to be just as popular as the wrestlers. And that's not going to happen. That's not what a ref is there for. I'm sorry.
No, the best compliment you can pay a referee is that you don't notice the referee.
Exactly.
Same thing
But
with
then what
referees in football, umpires, across the whole realm of sport.
are the Bucks going to do if something happened to Rick Knox?
Oh, nothing's going to happen. Rick Knox is Teflon. They're not. He's not going to get fired. The Bucks won't allow it. Wrong Hebner, AJ. Oh, I would.
Oh,
I
you
won't
got
lie.
me
I'd
with a
pop
spit
if they
take.
tried to pull this.
You about got a
I
spit
can say
take.
I can make a comment, but it's gonna make me sound really mean.
So Hebner, okay,
Uh,
AJ says Hebner will just make Rick Knox get plastic surgery to look like Aubrey Ed to pull a switcheroo on a Jericho match.
do I dare make my
Oh
comment
my
that's gonna make me sound like a real asshole?
Go ahead.
They don't need plastic surgery. They could just get her one of those rubber horse masks you get at the Halloween store and put it on Knox. And
We're
damn it,
so
Corny.
mean. We're so
Corny's a bad
mean.
influence.
He is, and we both
I may
listened
need
to
to
his show
take.
today, so we could be in big trouble.
I I'm a little salty. Uh,
Wait, a little salty at Corny, or a
no,
little
no,
salty
just
with Corny?
with. I
Okay.
sometimes I get when
There's
you
some things
talk
he
about
says that I don't agree with. There are some things he says that
sometimes,
I don't
yeah,
agree with.
yeah.
Especially when he starts talking about
His
the
general
women's
attitude
division.
toward the ladies, yeah,
Yes. But then
yeah.
there's other times that I'm like, damn it, he's got a point.
Mhm. Oh,
Sorry.
oh, Barry, shame, shame. Oh, that's gonna get us letters. Oh,
Yeah, that one
all
might get
right.
us letters.
So, all right. So the other two names are kind of fall on the booking side. If Tony would be willing to just swallow his pride and let somebody help him with the booking,
Yeah, right.
and
But
that's
okay.
Bully Ray,
Uh-huh.
and then
Well, I
Scott
have a
D'Amore.
feeling bullies, as I say, well, damn it. Good point. Scott's probably looking for a job.
And Tony would be a fool not to do something with him.
He would be.
That is,
But,
if the letter doesn't work. I mean,
right.
oof.
Uh, I don't know. It'd be
But
nice,
Bully,
but I don't
number
think
one,
Tony will release the reins enough.
let me tell you why I think Bully would be a good fit. Because he will straighten out that locker room.
Somebody needs to.
I mean, if Jericho's not going to be the veteran, then Bully's your guy.
Jericho doesn't want to lose his paycheck. So he's not going to do anything that might
No,
aggravate the
Jericho doesn't want
boys.
to lose his hip, cool new friends that are
Yeah,
25 years younger than he is.
right.
But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that. Like I said, there's plenty of people out there that can really help Tony straighten
Well, and he
the
has plenty of
rudder out
people
on
that are
this.
there are plenty of people that are there that could help him right
Yeah.
now, but he
Oh,
won't
I know.
listen.
Yeah. No. And I think I think maybe the ultimate choice in this question, Shad Khan, his old man,
Yeah,
needs to just finally just sit him down and say, "Hey, bullshit stops now."
yeah. But is he going to do that?
I don't think Shad cares. He just wants Tony to spend his inheritance and do what he wants to do, which does not bode well for running a wrestling company,
No,
especially if you want
does
to try
not.
to get ratings.
Right.
I mean, the ratings are in
Because,
the toilet, attendance is in the toilet.
oh,
They got
they're
all the talent in the
bad.
world.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside of there's some of the names that we kind of I don't want to say crap on because that might be too soon, but
Well, but here's the
it's
thing. Even if we crap on them, if they had somebody in the locker room that was willing to work with them,
teach.
show them what they're doing wrong,
Yeah,
but they have
but
to be
they
willing
have
to
those
listen.
people, but they have to listen. Yep,
They have to listen.
that's the big thing. There's
Yep.
some out there that will listen. Pillman Jr. said he would listen when guys would talk to him when he
Well,
was
and
back
obviously
there.
he will because now he's in NXT.
I think Darby would listen. I mean, he's been hanging around Sting for 4 or 5 years, so
I was gonna say, I think Darby is listening because the more I watch
yeah.
Darby, I
That
still
promo
think
was
he's in.
fire. That he was
That was so good. That promo was
if
so
AW
good.
Barry says if
Oh,
AEW were worried about a profit, I bet it would be a different situation. Hey, that's kind of the knock on Jerry Jones for you football fans. It seems I think he has said before he doesn't care about championships. He just wants to turn a profit. It's kind of the opposite,
yeah.
where yeah, it's just
Tony wants to
not that
play with
Tony.
his action figures and move on.
I can relate to this metaphor, AJ. The cons have more money than I have cat hair on my furniture. Me too. Shit, cat hair on my desk. There's, turning a profit will never be a concern. That's true. Yeah, they got more money than all the gods in the universe right now.
But at what point
But
do you just say enough is enough?
at some point, does Shad step in just to try to salvage Tony's reputation more than anything?
I
Because
don't
Tony's
know.
kind of a joke right now among not just wrestling like audiences, but like sports. Look at what's going on with this football team. Look at what's going on with this soccer team.
Yeah.
It's it's just gone in a nosedive, and I'm not saying I do any better with the football or the soccer, but you know, it
You
is
know
what
what?
it
We might
is.
not
It's
do any
just
better with the wrestling, but I feel like we come up with some pretty darn good ideas.
we do, and we've been heard in some instances.
So we think. So we think we've been heard. We're hoping,
I like to think
but
so.
we like to think so.
Yes.
Well, you brought it up earlier. Well, why don't we move into the Darby getting the Cody chance last week?
Oh
Because
yeah. So
that was fire. I was so proud of
yes, Darby.
Darby.
How do you think Tony was mad when the fans started chanting Cody's name on his television?
Oh, I'm sure he
Or do you think
was.
it just made him nervous?
Probably a little bit of both.
I can't imagine the Bucks were happy.
I don't care if the Bucks are happy
Well, me either.
because now they're doing what they should have done. They should have done this if they were going to pull this crap and let Punk actually answer them, in my opinion. But now they're like, oh, he can't hurt us, so we're going to go off and be the snide little backstabbing jackasses that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that's my 2
Yeah,
cents.
yeah. I think the Bucks are Tony's worst enemy at this point.
Again, Tony needs to grow a set. And I think it would be a totally different, but I don't think he will. He likes his friends too much.
No, because
Did
nobody
you hear
tells
though
him
how
when he's.
Go ahead.
I say nobody. He's surrounded by yes men in the locker
Yes.
room. It seems like at least the people that he listens
Yes.
to are yes men.
Yes. Crap.
They're yes men.
Yes, man. That are gonna find people.
Literally, Danielson's back
Whatever.
there.
Yeah, I know. But
So
yeah, that
I do have a
but
question though. So so the Bucks are fining everyone, fining for not calling them Matalis and Nick Thew, but technically Danielson is the one that does the fining. So what is there a point where he joins in with the fining, or is he going to be the baby face that goes up against the Bucks?
I don't
Or he
know.
says Darby exposed the company and it was the greatest thing Mr. Allen has done. It was
It
right up there with remember the AJ Lee promo back in the day when she went off on all the
yeah.
all the girls in the ring. It was right up there with that
I mean, come
as
on. He
far
even
as
pointed out
content.
that Cutler was on the first AEW.
Oh, I'm sure Brandon Cutler's a nice guy, but yeah,
Yeah, let's go back to Nikki and Maddie. I like Nikki and Maddie better. They're not gonna find us.
AJ says, "Well, if you're not a yes man, he'll just pay you to sit at home." This is true. You can either get booked and do what he and his friends like, or speak your mind and go home and get paid. So he's not wrong.
I'm not seeing the downside to this yet.
No,
I mean, come on,
although
Andrade
from
punched Sammy in the face and got to stay at home and get paid.
yep, and I'll probably spend a lot of time hanging out with Rick, doing who knows what on his boat.
I'm not
Woo!
asking questions. I
Having
don't want to know what happens.
eaten some wings.
Yeah. God, I hope not. I'm a nice guy too, but you don't
Uh,
want me in the ring on national television either.
this,
That's
yeah,
true.
AJ, we think the world of you. We're hesitant to put you on a live podcast sometimes once we know you get juiced up.
Yep.
You have a
But
nice
it
cushy spot in
happens.
the comments.
Yeah, we like you in the comments. You're
Something
good over
comes up.
here.
Yes.
You always have good
All right.
points. So yeah, I
Yes.
I think it was awesome that Darby called him out.
Hmm.
And I wonder if that was actually, I do still kind of wonder though, if it was planned or if he was literally speaking from the heart. It sounded like he was speaking from the heart, honestly.
Yeah,
But
spoke like a guy who knows he's going to be climbing Mount Everest in a few months, and
yeah,
he's
he's
had
not
to
going to be
deal with this
around
shit
for a
for a while.
while. So, yeah,
I
I
hope
don't have
that's
to
not
deal
why
with
they dropped the belts
children.
to the Bucks at the pay-per-view.
I don't have to
Sting's
deal with
retiring. Darby's
children.
climbing Mount Everest. It's just deal with mountain lions or whatever lives on Mount Everest.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
one
maybe you'll
more
find the
thing.
abominable snowman.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's
One more
Bigfoot's
thing
cousin.
before we let's try to get to this before our guest gets here because we should be
Okay,
getting close.
we're,
Let's
we should
talk
be getting
about the
close. Yeah.
Sammy and well, let's talk about Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy.
Okay. I'm surprised you haven't said anything about the corner.
Yeah, I saw it earlier.
Oh, just
I'm
choosing to
ignoring
ignore
it.
it.
Yes. Oh joy.
Okay.
Awesome. Wait, which one are you gonna stick me with? It's the frozen bodies on Everest. Yeah. It's David.
Well, yeah. That's,
So
there are a lot of frozen.
what's
There's a
your
lot of frozen
opinion on
everything on
this?
Everest.
Yeah. I want to hear your opinion on this whole Sammy Guevara and Jeff Hardy debacle. Although I
Well,
found it interesting that Ty put up a picture of the baby with Jeff and her on her Instagram. That was interesting.
like it's Jeff's baby,
Obviously, it was
of course.
before the match.
Oh, David's on his way to IWAU and he's listening. So
Ah,
there we go. If we didn't have a podcast every Tuesday, I'd like to check them out sometime.
maybe we should take a week off. We did that a couple times
Possibly.
last
Well,
year.
we did a couple times between seasons, maybe the week between season 3 and season 4. But
There you
yeah,
go.
back to Sammy though. To the uninformed, you would think that he has some sort of vendetta against the Hardy Boys
Yep.
because we remember what he
He's
did
two
to
for two.
Matt a couple of years ago, and then
Yep.
and yeah, it's the issue isn't that or how Sammy hit the shooting star press on Jeff. It's that they called it at the point that they did,
Yes.
and apparently it was
Because
supposed to
I'm.
be Jeff was supposed to get his knees up and you know block it, but uh, I guess Sammy just kind of his aim was not true to paraphrase Elvis Costello, and yeah, knees to the head, which is that took me back to Billy Kidman in 2004. I
Ugh.
mentioned this to you off air when he
Mm-hmm.
did that to Chavo Guerrero on SmackDown, and Chavo got
Yep.
messed up. He was out for a couple months, and same deal. Just and I'll go on record. Everybody talks about Kidman. He had the ugliest shooting star press I ever saw. He never did it flush. He always
No.
like went like almost to an angle, and it looked bad. You want a good
Mm-hmm.
shooting star press? You look at a Ricochet, Matt Sydal, Paul London, guys like that that can do it
Yes.
straight. Even usually Sammy Guevara does it pretty well, but he just messed up that one time.
Well, and did he mess it up, or was Jeff kind of laying a different way, which made Sammy have to pull it a different way? Which,
Well,
again, like you and I
I'm
talked about
I'm gonna
before, they shouldn't have even called this spot, in my opinion. But whatever.
well, they're always gonna be doing the flip. I didn't actually watch Collision. I watched like a fan cam shot of it, but
Oh no, it was
I
on
know I think
Rampage. It wasn't even Collision. It was
or
Rampage.
that's what I meant. I meant to say Rampage. I messed up.
It was
But
the third
yeah, so
show.
I didn't actually get a good look at how Jeff was laying out. I just saw the actual doing of the move.
Well, here's the thing: if you go back and watch it now, and anything the AEW has, what they
They cut it.
aired that night is totally edited because it goes from Sammy doing that, and you can tell that Sammy, like you could tell that he felt
He
terrible.
registered. Yeah.
You can see it on his face. But as
Hmm.
soon as like they didn't show any of what you saw in the cam where Matt flipped off
Right.
Sammy, you didn't see any of
Right. The
that,
doctors
and
came
it went
in.
straight. You didn't see any doctors come in. It went straight to
No.
Powerhouse Hobbs, spine
Hmm.
bustering Sammy.
Yeah.
Because I watched it today and I was like, wow. Because I was expecting to see all the other stuff, and nope. Because it's not live, they were able to edit it, which doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because I think they taped it on Wednesday, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
they
Like
tape they
after,
tape it after
yeah, because
Dynamite.
before there was a Rampage, they would tape AEW Dark on Wednesdays after
Hmm.
Dynamite was over, and yeah, so
Which I never understood. Why
just
didn't you do it before?
they did half of it before and half of it after, so they would split it up.
Still,
Yeah, well,
the main event of Dynamite should
eh,
be the end. My opinion. That's just my opinion, but
well, I don't know if I agree with that because there's always been dark matches after shows. Send the fans home
oh, I
happy
get it.
if the
But
heel goes over on the
they've had
show.
stars. They've had stars.
That's true. Hey, Minderz, let's put a pin in it because our guest has arrived, so let's go ahead and bring him in.
Okay.
Okay. So, joining us for part two, former ECW World Heavyweight Champion, Just Incredible. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
We're
Oh,
so
not too
excited to
bad.
have you
Glad to
back
have you
on the
back.
show.
Oh, right on, man. Good to be here. Good to see you guys again.
We're ready for part 2.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's do it.
So, since the last time we saw you, you've been making some appearances on the Indies here. I saw you at the GCW show in Detroit a few months ago.
Yeah,
So,
I've been working with GCW a little bit. And actually, this last week I did something I've never done before. The owner Brett Lauderdale asked me to come to the show and kind of be a I wouldn't say an agent or producer, but to kind of watch the show and give him opinions and ideas on kind of how to move forward. So I'm hoping to kind of do that more in the future, which is really cool. Something I've always wanted to do. So yeah, man, I just
cool.
been trying to do the best I can, staying out there.
Yeah, so almost like a consultant role, kind of,
Whatever.
with Brett right there.
I'm just happy to be a part of something. I think they are
Yeah,
they're the closest thing to ECW that I've seen, and I don't mean it because of their in-ring stuff. I don't mean the death matches or any of that stuff, but as far as the way they book their shows, they're running every week. They're a very, no pun intended, credible promotion, and they're doing some amazing things. So it's kind of
yeah,
like they're the next. That would be what ECW would be if it had survived. And I dig it. I dig the passion. There's so many great young men and women there, and it's just cool to be a part of. You know what I mean?
yeah. Oh, I've been to a few GCW shows when they come around this area, and the thing that I always take away from it is, as good as the product is, just the energy of the crowd at those
Yes.
shows is just insane. That's where
Yeah.
I get the ECW vibe from it, just
Exactly.
because I remember watching.
Yeah. And that's really what I always say that Paul Heyman was smart in so many ways, but his biggest asset wasn't the boys or the stories, it was the fans. The fans really were the ones who were like so amazing. Like they were almost the stars of the show. If you really go back to even the Hammerstein Ballroom for like the WWE's 2005 one night stand and all that, the crowd was the star. You know what I mean? The fans, the passion. So yeah, man, I totally get it, dude, and you're 100% right.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one night stand pay-per-view. I was always curious. That show started with Storm against Jericho. I think they billed it as Lance's last match. I don't. It wasn't. I know he's worked since then. But you make the run in with the cane and help Lance win. Was there ever a discussion to have give you a match on that show, or was it just always going to be the run in?
Yeah, it's there was never a discussion about me having a match, and I always wondered why. I don't know if it was just the way it all worked out, or
Mhm.
I mean, I remember in 2002, 2003, kind of going through my own issues with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. So I'm wondering if they were nervous that I would not be ready for a
Uh,
match pay per view, which I would have been. But again, I digress. That's just me thinking that. I don't know for sure. But yeah, but. it ended up working out, and we ended up making an appearance at the in the main event as well, where we both
Yes.
had a little run-in at the end. But it was, dude, it was just cool to be part of it. It was a great show, and it was one of the best shows and most monumental shows.
Oh man. Yeah,
Like
so
we could,
good.
it was so different than anything else that at the time that people have seen. So it was a super cool moment.
Yeah, I think I heard Dreamer actually booked that show. It wasn't Vince. I think they just let
Oh yeah, it had to
Tommy
be
and
Dream.
Heyman.
Yeah, it had to be Dreamer for sure. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was definitely had Tommy's fingerprints on it for sure.
yeah, yeah. Speaking of, I don't know how much you're keeping up on the news lately. I don't know if you heard Scott D'Amore got removed at
I,
TNA as
yes.
president, had to create him all that, and it sounds like Tommy is actually taking a little bit more of a role in the creative going forward with a couple other people involved. How how do you feel he's going to do with that TNA roster if he is the head of creative?
I mean, I think he'll do great. I think Tommy is always, he's got such a mind for it, and so not just a mind for it. He's got a really good sense of what's happening around in the business. What's happening. So I mean, if anybody knows, he would. I would like to know why Scott D'Amore got let go.
Me too.
That's a bigger question for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
I don't think he
and
was doing anything wrong, really.
what happened?
We're
I
not
said,
sure
I
he
don't
was
think he
doing
was doing
anything
anything wrong
wrong.
necessarily. I mean, they
They just
really were on an upswing.
Wow,
Well,
that's wild.
I had heard that he was wanting to buy the company.
Yeah, at some time I'd heard.
So
Well, so maybe they're just yeah, you never know, but it's crazy. And that's the thing that sucks about wrestling is you never as secure as you think you may be.
yeah,
At the point you never really are, you know,
Yeah,
which which is it's shitty, but yeah.
yeah.
yeah, yeah. One of the
So
things that, oh, go ahead, Menders.
are you, Reb? I'm gonna let you toot your horn a little bit. Are you gonna tell Justin about Tommy Dreamer giving you a shout out on your messenger the other day about your booking?
Oh yeah, I yeah, I'm a regular listener to Busted Open, so Tommy does several days during the week on there, and sometimes when I'm at work, I can't call in because of my job. So if I have a free moment, I'll send a message on Twitter or something, just if I have a snarky comment or an idea or something. And I don't know how familiar you are with Georgia Championship Wrestling from the early '80s, but I told Tommy I think that Jey Uso needs to do the Ole Anderson heel turn when he turned on Dusty Rhodes in 1980, which was
Mm,
like a year-long build, and then
yeah,
all of his friends like couldn't trust Ole, so he had to get everybody to get on his side. And then eventually, as soon as they did, they just dropped the hammer on Dusty in the cage, riots,
yeah,
everything. And I told Tom, I was like, I think they need to do that with Jay, get him back in the bloodline. And he told me that was a good idea. So I'll take that for what it is. Is that's the
yeah.
mark.
Hey, it works for me too. Wouldn't mind seeing that at all.
Yeah, I I'd like to see them maybe do. Uh, I know they won't do it, but I want to see them do a cage match at Mania, Roman and Cody, to keep the bloodline out, and
Yeah,
then after the match is over, say Cody wins, and then bloodline comes in the ring. They start beating on Cody. Then here comes Rollins, here comes Jay, and they have the face off, and then Jay just bam, super kick to Rollins, lock the cage. You're not going to get a riot anymore, but I think
no,
that would be for a very, very hot crowd for that if that was to
yeah,
happen.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Is there any news on what Rock is going to be doing? Because I haven't watched.
Uh, right now he cut a promo with
He's
the Bloodline
siding
on
with
Friday.
Roman. I'm
Oh,
not
Right.
buying it.
But
I'm not buying it.
there's rumors there's rumors that they might do a tag match on night one, Roman and Rock against Rollins and Cody, and then do the title
okay.
matches on night two. But they haven't said that for sure. That's just the rumor that's going around. But yeah, they're
That-
just I think they're kind of feeling it out at this point.
yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I think that would be kind of cool because you don't normally see somebody, almost working night one and then like do an angle leading into night two. So yeah, that would be pretty cool for sure.
Yeah, that kind of gives me a vibe like New Japan does. Like if they do a, say during the G1, they would have like on the nights when one block isn't wrestling, they would be in tag matches the night
Yes,
before they would wrestle the guy, which it
right.
kind of falls in the. But yeah, everything. There's a lot of stuff still very much up in the air about WrestleMania. They made big steps for Jimmy against Jay last night on Raw,
Yeah.
and so we're just along for the ride. Just looking, I just want to see what happens. So
Yeah, me too. I mean, I know that there's so much at stake with this bloodline, storyline and all that it entails. So, I have a feeling that it's gotten so big and so many people are wondering about it and kind of in their own heads have their own ideas. When there's that many people and that much kind of talk, I have a feeling that no matter what they do, nobody's going to be happy, right?
Right.
It's one of
yeah,
those things
can't
where
please everybody.
it could be super cool, but everybody's going to be like, "Oh, I wish they would have."
Hmm.
But yeah,
That's
it's good.
exact.
Go
That's
ahead.
like what happened last year at WrestleMania. Everybody wanted Cody to win,
Yeah,
and everybody was up in arms when Cody didn't win. And I think most of us were kind of like, yeah, we kind of saw it coming, but
yeah.
you didn't know. We
Well,
have, yeah.
I think they're going to have to pull the trigger this year.
I don't think it's going to be at WrestleMania.
I don't think so either. But you know, they WWE has been very good at keeping things going, and these storylines have been amazing. But it's almost like sometimes if you wait too long, you're going to lose it. And I think
Yeah.
we're hitting that time where you got it. It's about time that something. You know what I mean? The next
Yeah,
the next chapter happens. So, but we'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, they're making tons of money. It's all that matters to them, right? And
Well, and we're
everybody's going to come out of there a lot richer than we are. So,
well, that's true. We're
yeah,
we're
this is
really
very true.
excited at the fact that we haven't been able to predict what's going to happen. Like we
yeah,
have our ideas, but like even with who was going to win the Royal Rumble, it was up in arms. We had like 3 people that we had it narrowed down to, but we didn't know who it was going to be.
right, right,
So,
Yeah,
this is the first year, and like we were talking, it's been like a decade since we haven't been able to pick who the winners were going to be.
yeah.
So
That's important too. I
it
mean,
is.
I think that's one of the things I know I'm not going to explain myself correctly, but I'll try really quickly. One of the things I dislike about, like, in the 80s, in early 90s, there were, stars against mid card. You always kind of knew like the big stars were wrestling the middle card, the lower card guys. You knew who was going over. Now you have this thing where you have equal stars kind of up in these same matches, and but it all seems like it's fodder. It's like the importance of who wins and loses is kind of been lost. It's like it doesn't.
mhm.
It almost seems like it doesn't matter as much like AEW. And again, I don't mean to poop on AEW or to, I don't want to swear. I don't know if we're allowed to swear.
You're allowed to do
Oh yeah, you're
whatever
fine.
you want to do.
Oh, I never want to use the word. No, I don't want to get on AEW, but I just feel like they're stuck in that. Like, there's no decide. Like wins and losses were supposed to matter. They don't matter, and I think they just they throw too many matches out there that that really they should have a big impact on the storyline. And at the end of the day, it's all for shit. So I just think that
Mhm.
they could somehow not give away so much. And I think WWE has always been really good at protecting that. But even WWE is a bit transparent, but they've obviously been the standout show, and business is actually booming for them. If you looked at the attendance,
Oh yeah,
like we're
Yeah.
selling
yeah,
out, like every Monday, SmackDown as well. Like they're putting
yeah,
12,000 fans in the building, and
yeah. Even for
it's
house
just
shows, they're drawn.
are
So
they?
Hmm.
yeah,
That's great. I mean, you want to see that. I just wish, again, AEW, I think, lost a lot of goodwill, because they had something going for a long time. And there's so many great, I think I read something somewhere today. They have over 200 people, full-time talents signed, and they're
Yeah.
still, you know what I mean? There's still free agents out there. How are you paying these people? You know, and for what
He has no budget. He has no
that's
budget.
look, I don't mind the no budget. I don't mind sitting on my ass getting paid, but I think it just does a disservice to the business. You know, it's I just wish that they could just tone things up because they have such a listen. We are better off today than we were without an AEW. Having that competition, having an alternative, especially for the men and women in the business, right?
Right.
Those
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
200 jobs that were not available. You got to look at it from our perspective, like
Right.
that was available since after WCW and ECW went out of business. So it's a cool thing. And TNA, of course, is in the mix and so forth. But yeah, I really would love to see them bounce back a little bit.
Yeah. This is put in perspective. Tony's actually from Champaign. He's from the same town that I'm talking to you from right now. So
Oh,
his
right
dad
on.
runs he runs a big factory out here and very successful. And the story goes that he just basically is letting Tony just use his inheritance to run AEW. Just he wants to see him have fun with it, have fun with his money and everything. So you could
I mean,
take that
you know,
for how you want to take it, but
hey, look, I don't want to shit on it because he's doing a
yeah.
good service business. He's employing a lot of people, and that's amazing, and that's great. I just wish that because man, you could really do something here, and you have the finances and the resources really to do some special stuff. I think the stuff with CM Punk and all the stuff that went down was really it started a downward, not a downward spiral, but it really kind of showed that you know AEW had no idea what they were doing. I mean, CM Punk was an ace in the hole, and just because, I mean, dude, fights happen in the business all the time. The fact that this was made such a big deal between what happened with CM Punk and I guess what Jack,
Jack Perry,
Perry.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I
Jungle Jack.
like him as a professional. I mean, I like him as a performer, but like that was made into such bullshit. It's like, dude, people fight all the time, man. If I told you some of the stories that happened to me during the '90s in the WWE, you'd be like, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, stuff happens, and the fact that people are so weird these days about it, it's wild what the business used to be and what it became after just a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey,
Reb, did you
actually,
see
we
we
got a
had a?
question for you from the
Okay.
chat. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So AJ, he wrote, he says, I always like the Impact players. Was there ever any creative plans for you and Lance in the tag division in WWE following the invasion angle that just didn't happen for whatever reason?
No, there were not, unfortunately. I remember one time, and I remember where we were as well. It was a Monday Night Raw, and we were in Chicago at oh my God, the Rosemont. We used to call it the Rosemont Horizon, where the WWE does their shows.
Yeah.
And they put Lance and I together to wrestle Edge and Christian on a Monday Night
Oh,
Raw. And it
oh
was,
wow.
match. We put him over, but it was really well done. It was a great match, and we honestly thought like they would do something with us. I mean, it was just because Lance wasn't doing much and I wasn't doing anything at all. So why not? Why not just insert that? But again, it's like the WWE just does not. I don't know if they don't like to put over what happened in other companies or if they just truly did not know, but they had no interest in putting us together. So it's a
Mm.
shame. And no, and if they would have, I think we could have been a great team for the WWE.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think Vince always kind of got that reputation. He wasn't real high on tag team wrestling in general
No,
from
no, he
some of the
wasn't.
stuff I heard. So I'm sure that may have had something to do with it. I would have loved to see Impact players back on WWE back in the day, though.
That
But
would have been great. It would have been so much fun, and we would have done some good stuff for sure.
yeah. Let's see.
Go ahead,
I want to
Reb.
get back to EC. I want to get back to ECW a little bit here. There was a run. Oh, hang on. What do we got?
We got another
Oh, we
question.
got another question for you. Barry's wanting to know, how was your time with Albert and X-Pac, the old X Factor stable
It
back in
was.
the day?
I really enjoyed it. I thought, again, and it's going to be a similar answer to the Impact Players thing. When we were brought in, we were supposed to feud originally with the Hardys for the tag team titles. And I remember the first program we had when I debuted and we teamed together and did X Factor with Pac and Albert. We were supposed to, just start right away with the Hardys, but instead it became, I think we did the Dudleys. We actually did a pay per view. It was like me, Pac, and Albert against Bubba, Devon, and Spike. We beat them
I
at the pay
remember. Yep.
we beat them at the pay per view, and then the next pay per view we did like a 4-way or something. One of those, like, when one team wins, the next team comes down. It was like
Yeah.
Edge and
Like Tag
the
Team
Hardy,
Turmoil or something.
yeah, the Dudleys, and I think even like like the Chris's, like we called it the Chris's. It was Benoit and Jericho were a team, and we ended up going really far in that, but we ended up losing that, and again, and then after that, we were still a tag team, but then the WCW thing happened, and we became the Alliance and the other thing, and WWE and the Alliance, and Pac went away, and the tag team just got dissolved because of the roster split and all that stuff. So it kind of ended abruptly, which was a shame because I thought we'd have been a nice heel.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was always a part of me that wished that they would have kept ECW and WCW separate during that
Oh,
invasion angle instead of putting
yeah.
everybody into the same crew.
Yeah, because it was two very opposite things. When WCW went under and Vince acquired them, they were looked upon as, it was just like just the remnants of something that used to be. ECW was very different. It was almost like, we still had heat, we still had positive. People looked at us positively, but we just didn't have, it was more of a financial thing, where WCW just kind of was the shits. If you remember the end of WCW and the creative.
Oh, I do.
Whew, we do.
But if they kept separate, I think we could have definitely done something special. But again, WWE doesn't they never really want to give they never want to give the fans what they really want, and it bothers me because, like, that would have made them so much more money if they would have kept ECW and WCW separate. You could have had 3 rival promotions. Hell, you could have had Monday Night Raw be WWE on Monday. WCW, you could have given them a show on a Thursday night, which was, I think, when SmackDown was on back then, and then given ECW something on a Saturday night, and kept everybody separate, and then once or twice a year have a Super Bowl of wrestling at a WrestleMania or whatever, or even have your own pay-per-view. But they just can't help themselves. You know what I mean? They
Survivor Series.
Survivor
Series would have been a good one.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, and also just as far as money goes, I mean, you guys would have sold merchandise out the nose on the if you guys were still into ECW merch and all that. Did we lose him? Hang on.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's to avoid dead air.
We'll give him a few minutes.
We lost. Yeah, we'll give him a second here to. I'll tell you what we'll do. Why don't we pay bills while we're waiting on him to come back in?
Okay, that sounds great.
Get that. Okay. All right.
Let's
here we go.
do that.
I'm sorry about that. I apologize.
Oh, no worries.
You're fine. We went
You're
ahead and
not the
paid our
first one.
bills.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Like I said, not the first time that's happened, so it's all good. Uh, I wanted to get back into ECW here for a bit because I remember kind of the feud that didn't really get to flesh out was the one you had with Rob Van Dam in '99
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
TV title. I remember the build up. You had the tag match Impact players against Van Dam and Jerry Lynn on the pay-per-view, which was awesome. But why did you never really did the one-on-one run like to its fullest?
Well,
Any
what,
idea why?
what Paul? Yeah, no, yeah, I do absolutely. Paul Heyman had, for a very long time, gone through great lengths to make sure that Rob and I never touched. He wanted to do something special. He wanted to like really build on this as like, Rob being the big star, the baby face, Mr. ECW. Really, he was the most over by far. So good, so talented. And I was, the biggest heel they had. They didn't want to just jump into it. They wanted to really take their time and build. And unfortunately, even in that match you mentioned in '99, if you go back and watch it, I just remember this because I know what I was told that Van Dam and I never touched in that match purposefully.
Right.
Lance did all the work with Rob. I did most of the work with Jerry, but never Rob and I actually touched. So the whole thing was to save it for a big payday someday, a big payoff of an angle. But unfortunately, it just we didn't have time.
Yeah.
The business just was what it was.
Yeah. I remember that match because I remember hearing the crowd when there even was just the idea that you guys would make contact,
Yeah,
and just the crowd was hot for it for sure.
yeah, for
It always
sure. Yeah,
surprised it always surprised me that Paul waited as long as he did to put Van Dam in a world title situation. I mean,
yeah.
I know he
Well,
was
that
doing
was
the TV title for 2 years.
supposed to be the deal. I was supposed to have the world title, and Rob was supposed to beat me for the world title. And kind of unify the TV and the world, or whatever.
Hmm.
However, they would have played that out. He would have been double champion. But yeah, that was
Right.
originally what was, because I had the belt until I think October. Jerry beat me in 2000, and then we closed
Mhm.
shortly after. But Rob was supposed to take it from me, and
Yeah.
that would have been the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Would the broken ankle have been a big reason of why that didn't happen? Because I know he got hurt in 2000 when he had to give up the TV title. Was that just Did that just throw a monkey wrench into Paul's plan
I
for the
don't
future
think it
going?
did. No, I don't think. The only reason I don't, and again, I don't know for sure. This is just how I see it. I don't think so because I won the. I think I won the belt. I got to say May of 2000. So it really
Hmm.
didn't. I didn't. I think he wanted me to have it leading into 2001 if all would have been healthy with the company. So yeah, I don't think that had anything to do with it. I just think that it sucked that happened. But I think Paul wanted me to have the belt for a little bit, and then eventually in 2001, probably early 2001, uh, give it over to Rob.
Okay. We got a guy in the comment, Wild Screenwriter. He's a newcomer, so welcome. He said RVD's TV title reign got over and elevated it to higher status, similar to what Gunther has done today with the IC title, which
Oh
he's not
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I would
Yeah.
argue. I mean, even argue that the TV title was more important than the world title. And I'm not trying to diss my own run, but you could argue that because Rob was the biggest star we had in the company. Although I
Right.
was the world champion, he had more steam. So you could even argue that the TV title was more important. But yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that even goes back to when Taz had it before Rob
That's right. That's right.
in
Yep.
that '97, early '98.
Yep.
But yeah. So so Minders wanted me to ask you this. We're we're allowed the occasional nerd question on the show. I did the same thing with Barry Horowitz. I've always wondered, do you still have the Aldo Montoya mask?
I do. I do. As a matter of
Oh,
fact,
wow.
I looked over to the side. It's somewhere on the floor here because I had to do a promo with it for an action figure I
Oh
have
wow.
coming up. So
Oh,
yeah, it's hold on,
Yay!
hold on. I'm gonna get my cat. Let me see. Pull it out here. Hold on. I don't want to. Shit. Hold on. All right, I can't find it right now. It's
That's fine.
sorry for the false
it's
finish,
it's fine.
but
Oh
yes,
no, you're good.
I do still have it. Yes.
Well, we actually have one of your buddies coming up that's going to be on our show here in a couple weeks too.
Oh, who's that?
Yeah. The second week of April, we're gonna have Jason on with us. Jason Knight,
Oh, right.
sexiest man
Dude.
on earth. So
Oh, he's a trip. He's a very
yeah,
cool interview
we're looking forward to that one.
for
We're
sure.
Yeah,
very
it's
much looking forward to that.
Right on.
We had Jack
yes,
Victory on a month or so ago?
Oh,
about a
Jack.
month ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just saw Jack and Steve Carino, as a matter of fact. We all did an appearance together at a New York City, somewhere in Queens, New York. We did a wrestling store that sells like all kinds of wrestling action figures and memorabilia. And him and Carino were there, and I was there. Van Dam was there. Sabu was there. So yeah, I just saw Jack. He looks great. He's awesome. He's another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, Jack's a
He had
trooper.
some fun stories.
He was
He had
yeah. Jack
a
had to
lot of
do it
fun
from his
stories.
truck. He was doing his job. Yeah, he was just in the cab of his truck doing the chat with us.
That's all
But,
for him.
yeah,
But yeah.
a lot of good stories out of Jack. He's another guy
Yeah.
we're gonna have to have for a part two at some point.
Oh yeah, and he's such a nice
Okay.
guy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We got another newcomer here. Matthew Scheffel. He wants to know what your thoughts are on CM Punk. Now, I know you were his first match in the old ECW
Yep.
sci-fi days.
Yep. I love Punk. I think I don't know. I mean, you hear all the stuff. I mean, he was never that. I thought he was a sweetheart of a guy. I always got along with him. Like maybe I got him at a different point in his career or life, but he was super cool, super easy to work with. I remember this. I remember the night we wrestled at the match you're talking about in his debut, that he actually came up to me afterwards at the Hammerstein ballroom where the show was, and he was like teared up thanking me because he was like, you really helped me. You put me over. You made me look great. Thank you so much. He was very humble and a good dude, and that's how I remember him. So, but again, it's been a long time removed. But he was always super cool to me, man. I like him a lot. I think he's good for the business.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
He just got tired of working with children.
That's what he said.
Dude,
What
It
he
always
said.
seems like with
I would lose my mind doing that. I really. But especially if you come from the WWE, and especially guys like us who, like, I was there through the '90s, dude. I mean, talk about like PTSD, and I've seen the shit that killed Elvis. I've seen too much. I've done too much. And so for these guys to kind of shit on everything and to not understand and realize how great of an opportunity they have in AEW, and it's astounding to me. They're all making more money than I've ever seen, and they still are crying the blues. It's insanity. So I can imagine why Punk felt the way he did.
yeah.
That's kind of
There's
how
a lot
we all
of
agree.
Yeah.
We all agree.
yeah.
in our little group,
Uh,
anyway.
Yeah. You always hear talk about the guys in the AEW locker room not listening to the veterans or whatever. We're not locker room guys. We don't know the facts,
Yeah,
but just
that's what I hear.
yeah. But you were just in the GCW. You were talking about that at the start of the chat. How's the talent in the locker room to work with, like to interact with?
They're great. They're very again. It's I can't compare it to an AEW because again, I've never been there and I've never met a lot of these men and women that work there. But these kids are all super nice and very humble and just wanting to, hey, could you watch my match and stuff like that. So everybody was always really really welcoming and nice. So again, I think it's more of an internal thing. I think it comes more down to guys that are getting paid a lot of money big 6-figure deals that have never done anything in their careers and think this is like how it's done. They're, you know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
fact that, or, the fact that like guys like Goldust are there, Dustin Rhodes, Jerry Lynn, so many guys, and like you're not listening to those guys. That's, to me, that's the biggest faux pas you could do. Like, it's just, you don't have to you don't have to do what they say, but at least entertain and try to understand that everyone's here to help you. And it just feels very, just, I don't want to say the millennial kind of thing, but it's like they're just different animals than our generation was. And I guess it shows in the way they do business.
One of my
Yeah.
biggest things, I want to see the guys that are in the locker room now with the things that we've heard.
Sure.
I want to see if they would have survived in the 90s.
Oh
I don't
God.
think they would have.
Even myself, I mean, look, I mean, there were things that were done and things I had to endure that would make most people, like even myself, like I don't know how I made it. Seriously, like I wanted to cry most nights and like go home. Um, it was brutal, dude. They would rib you, and do horrible things, things that actually shouldn't be done. And I'm being funny, but like they were just mean to you though, and they made you earn your keep. So I could not imagine anybody, like, in some ways I'm glad that doesn't exist anymore, but I understand why it exists, because it made you appreciate what you had, even though it was kind of rough. And I don't know if I would do that, or do that to another person today, but I could see why it was done. It was like, if you're going to do this, and if you're going to, we made this territory and this business for you. Now you're going to reap the rewards. We got to make sure you know, you respect us. And it was just,
Yeah.
it was that old mentality. You know what I mean?
Did
That
you
old,
ever have to
Yeah.
go before Judge Taker?
oh, I did wrestler's court. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you, and it was not. It was because I took Lex Luger's girlfriend on a Germany tour. She went home with me instead of him, and then I got a lot of heat for
Oh
that.
boy.
So I had to go before wrestlers court for that one. But
Uh,
I wasn't married. I was a
Oh,
single man. So
right.
So, but anyways, I
Minders,
digress.
Minders,
yeah.
do I dare mention that to Luger when we see him at the Square Circle Expo?
No.
Uh,
No.
you can't totally. He probably won't remember, but that's okay.
He probably won't, honestly.
It
We're
was 25, 30 years ago, so probably not.
we're pretty stoked. I think before we told you we went to a Squared Circle Expo. They're gonna have one of those again coming up here in a couple weeks, into March, over at Indianapolis, and Mikey Ripwreck is one of the guys that are gonna be there, and
Um,
we're so stoked.
yeah.
Shane's gonna be there again.
Oh, nice.
Devon's gonna be there. There's like 70 people that are gonna be there. Bobby
Uh,
Fulton.
oh
Yeah.
wow.
So
Oh,
yeah,
it's a
we're
big
pretty
group. Yeah.
stoked.
Yep.
Mikey's the best. You'll love
Yeah.
Mike. Funny as hell.
Yeah.
Reb, that's one we should try to get on the
That's
show. I bet you we could do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll, yeah. There's always a shot. I mean, we got an impressive list of ECW talent. We've had Fonzie on, we've had Jack Victory on, Gavin Jason on, of course, next month. So yeah,
Justin
what?
twice.
I mean, worst thing you
Yeah,
can do is say no, right? Justin twice, yeah.
Exactly.
Uh,
that's good,
like I
guys.
said, worst thing you can do is say no. So,
Yeah.
That's it.
uh,
Yeah.
Tajiri might be a challenge if we ask Tajiri because
Yeah.
Japanese isn't so good.
Hey,
Were you gonna throw up that one question from Wild Screenwriter there?
Let me
How would
see
Justin
here.
have booked his WWE run in 2001
Oh,
differently?
oh, geez. Um, I don't know. I would just start as the only way I would have booked it differently is just for us to. I would have booked it again. The roster was so full. I mean, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin, you had The Rock, you had Triple H, you had Undertaker, you had everybody. So it certainly would not have been a singles. Again, the WWE had the right thing in mind of booking me as a tag with X Pac. I would have just booked us as a much stronger team right off the bat, and kind of made us the number one contenders right away. and giving us a tag team title run. Other than that, I don't think I would change it because, there's no way Justin Credible could really hang in there at that time without a year's worth of push. Without, you can't hang with The Rock the way he was at that time, or Stone Cold, or The Undertaker, or Triple H, or all those other guys coming up. It was just so stacked. So the tag team route would have been the best way.
Right. What else do we have?
Oh, well, we got another one.
We
Speaking
kind of
of Paul
covered.
Springer, man, he's keeping us busy here.
He is.
We kind of touched on this earlier. He's asking, do you feel like Albert added much to the group? I think we kind of covered that when we were talking about X Factor earlier.
I don't think he did. I think he meant to. The meaning for Albert was kind of to be like the Kevin Nash of the group. Like he was supposed to, like we were two smaller guys. Even though like I was 225, 230, Pac was 220. Nowadays, like we're heavyweights compared to the guys that are in AEW. They're like 150.
Jeez.
But anyway, so Albert was supposed to be like our bodyguard and our heater. He's supposed to be like the Nash. But unfortunately, and I love Matt Bloom. He's a great dude. Still has a job with the office, I think. But that being said, he just never had the charisma. I thought the look was distracting with all the stuff, and he didn't. The piercings kind of away from what we were. I don't know. It just didn't mesh the way I would have liked it. Although he was a great dude and I loved working, but it just didn't work.
Yeah. Hey, Reb, I'm going to say something. Wild screenwriter,
Go
keep
ahead.
the questions coming. Keep the questions coming.
Dude.
Don't apologize for it, because
no sorries here.
No sorries here.
All good.
No.
He's just
more questions,
one of his
the better.
favorite wrestlers. So.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you calling into the program. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
But
all right. Well, so aside from doing the GCW stuff, do you got anything else coming up that you want to get out there?
Not really. I'm just I'm booked quite a bit. I don't have anything. I'm half punch drunk all the time, but I don't have anything written that I could like kind of say the dates. But I'm booked all the way up to WrestleMania weekend. A lot of stuff I'm doing at WrestleMania weekend in Philadelphia. So just kind of just follow both on Twitter and Instagram at PJ Polacco. Kind of keep everybody up to date on that, and that's pretty much it, dude. Keeping it kind of simple. These days.
Make sure you let us know when those action figures come out.
I definitely will.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. They're going to be really cool, for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we really appreciate you coming back on for a second go around with us.
Yeah, this might have to have a third.
To do a part
Who knows?
3.
Well, might have to do part 3.
I'd love to. Anytime you guys, I'm always here.
All right. So, sounds great. Thanks, Justin. Hopefully, we appreciate it so much.
Hopefully, we can get you to one of these conventions around here. We can actually get a chance to meet up face to face. But
that'd be. Yeah.
Until then, I mean, we're doing the chat here. So anytime, if you got something you want to plug or something, just let me know. We'll get you back on.
Follow me on Twitter at PJ Polacco.
All right.
We do our best.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hate you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye.
I always love it when
he's not disappointed, does he?
No, he never does.
He's got good stories. He always has good takes on the business.
He does.
He has the mask. You got me to ask him about the Aldo mask. He has it in his house.
I know. I'll have to send him a message and see if we can't get a picture of him with the mask so we can put it
You'll just do what I do with our still unnamed head. Just put it on there. Keep it next to
There you go. Hey, thanks
we still
to
need a
everybody
name for this guy, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, welcome.
Thanks so much.
Yes, that's awesome. It's always good to get some new faces in here. If you're watching live, it does drop on podcast on Apple, Spotify, Audible on Thursday mornings at 6:05 Central Time. I did that for a reason.
I'm sure you did.
AJ's asking, when does Justin go to the JTR Hall of Fame?
Later.
I don't know. It may have to be an Impact players going in the Hall of Fame. Possibly.
It'd be fun as if we could have him on when we put them in the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, there we go. Or if we do one of our watch-alongs, we'll do that. We'll do that Heatwave match when he's him and Lance against Jerry and Van Dam.
There you go.
But what he was saying, something stuck out when he was talking about how Paul booked them to never touch in the ring, him and Van Dam. That's very similar to what he did with Taz and Sabu going into Barely Legal, because they went
Yeah.
like a year without making any contact in the ring, and then that match was just so good at the pay-per-view
But
when
that
they
never
finally
happens
did.
anymore. It's so frustrating.
Yeah, there's
Stuff
so
like that
much to be
doesn't
said for
happen.
the slow burn. No.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
So we
But
put a pin in it. Where did we put a pin in it? Do you remember?
where did we? I think we were about to talk about the AEW CMLL situation, because that got a little bit of attention in the on the dirt sheets and in the wrestling news
Got a
sources,
little attention from the boys
because
in the back.
yeah, especially the AAA fellas are not happy because from what we heard, and I haven't seen the actual like phrasing of the contract, whatever the deal is that Tony Khan made with CMLL, so we were a little fuzzy on it. Apparently, when on shows when the CMLL talent is on television, whether it be Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, they cannot have any Mexican wrestling talent that does not work for CMLL on the show. Which,
I
if
don't
you're an
agree.
AEW fan, you know that includes Penta, Ray Phoenix, Roosh, Drolistico, all those guys that have been there for several years at this point
Since the
that are
beginning.
over. Yeah,
Penta and Ray have been there since the
especially
beginning.
the Lucha Brothers specifically, but I mean, Roosh
Yes.
came over with the Ring of Honor, but
Right.
I mean, that puts those guys in a hell of a spot. I mean, yeah, I know they could just take a week off and chill out at home or whatever, but like they said, AAA didn't make those kind of demands when Tony started working with them, and Tony has presented their champions defending the titles on his shows. Vikingo defended the Mega Championship. FTR when they were tag champions. Uh, Lucha Brothers when they were the tag champions, they would defend the titles on there. And
Yep.
yeah, they never made any kinds of concessions that they had to limit who he could book. And that's another instance where we were saying, how can they fix AEW? Tony has to grow a set. That's one where Tony has to grow a set.
Yeah.
And
It's definitely where Tony has to
and
grow
yeah,
a
I
set.
know CMLL is the oldest wrestling company in the world, and it's got that pedigree, it's got that lineage, it's got that respect to it. But it's yeah, Tony, he's got to step up for his guys. This is a case where it looks like he's not standing up for his talent,
Yeah.
which
Which,
does
if you're
not get
paying
you very
them,
far.
no.
Yeah.
The guys are not going to want to do anything anymore. Honestly. If
Mhm.
Tony's not going to respect them, why should they respect him?
I part of me wonders how long this deal has been in place. But I mean, I know they just started using the guys a few weeks ago, but they probably made this deal months ago to figure out how to do this. And it makes me wonder if guys like an Andrade got wind of it, and maybe that played into his decision to leave when his contract came up. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas. I can't tell you for
If
sure.
it is, I
Obviously,
don't
we're
blame
not
him.
involved. No, of course not.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder how long, because I think Penta and Phoenix re-signed not too long ago. So I think they've got another few years on their contract. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look.
See,
Yeah, AJ, you were right.
Yep.
Penta goes all the way back to All In when Jericho put his gimmick on, attacked Omega
Yep.
after his match.
But yeah,
Jeez. And I've always been high on Penta. I always thought he was good.
I
know
loved
AJ
Penta
and you were Lucha Underground guy.
Lucha Underground people, yeah. We loved him in Lucha Underground.
For me, it was Impact for me when I first saw him, when he was the world champion there.
Well, see, and then there's another problem, and I don't know, and this is where, is it anybody that's worked for a Lucha company? Because if that's the case, then you've got problems with Swerve. You've got problems with a bunch of the other ones.
You were talking Angelico. We talked about
Angelico.
AJ
helped us out. You know who all of them were. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were talking about that. We think that the phrasing was just for the Mexican wrestlers that worked there.
That's
but
the way
like I said, we
haven't. Think, but we're not sure.
That's when we heard the Brian Last, when we listened to Cornette, they were talking about this, and he was talking about what the deal said. So I haven't had a chance to read it myself. I'm just going by what he said there, and yeah, if that is just anybody that works for or has worked for anybody other than CMLL, that's a big hole in your roster.
A huge hole.
Uh, Jeff Jarrett would be out of there. I think Lethal, I think, worked there.
Yeah.
Uh, Not that Tony's doing anything with Lethal
Well,
anyway, moron. But
FTR, even FTR, because they were the
yeah,
AAA
yeah,
tag
they were mega champion.
champs.
They were tag champions. Yeah.
Yeah.
AJ
So
says
I mean,
Penta had the best. Let me get this quote in from AJ here. Minderz. AJ says
yep.
Penta had the best run of his career in Lucha Underground. Fun fact: when he won the Impact World Title, he was also the Lucha Underground champion. He was a double champion, and that never got hyped up at all. So yeah, I don't. Now that I mentioned, now that he says that, I don't think they ever said he was Lucha Underground champion when he was in Impact.
Hey,
Okay, Wild
he's
Screenwriter,
gonna
hey, you
fit right
stepping up,
in with
man.
us.
Yes, he says I believe that CML guys can't wrestle other Mexican talent. That actually kind of makes sense. It makes more sense than the other thing anyway. Because let's see what is it. First night, CMLL appeared on the 31st. 2 matches later, Commander wrestled Wardlow. Okay, so there we go. Commander's an
Okay,
AAA guy,
so they just can't
so
wrestle.
they can't
Okay,
wrestle AAA talent. Okay, that makes more sense
that
because
makes a lot more
maybe
sense.
that's a
Thank you.
conflict of interest. Thank you, Wild Screenwriter. Please do not leave us
Please don't
in
leave
the
us.
future. You have proven to be a tremendous asset to our
Hey,
bullshittery here.
yeah, we have a lot of bullshittery, so you are more than
Yes,
welcome to correct us on our bullshittery. So it's great.
yes.
Well, have we talked
Let's
about
see.
AEW enough? I'm kind of over it.
I we have. I decided to behave and not show. You know how I get squirrely with my Photoshop projects with the pictures with Tony. Uh, I didn't. I should I do it? I don't want to be that guy, but well, Wild Screenwriter, if
We're an
he
hour
hasn't
and a
seen
half.
these, so,
I say we're an hour and a half into the
yeah,
show, so
yeah.
YouTube probably has
We've had
given
some.
up on us already.
We've had some fun. We've had some fun with Tony, and we put him in the Napoleon garb there. Put him with Muhammad Ali. Got the picture of him with the cowboy hat,
Well, that's you didn't
which
put him in
Minders.
anything there. That was just
No,
him.
Minders wore
That
that
was
better.
just I did wear
And
that better.
of course, put him on the Muscle and Fitness Vince McMahon covers there. I'm very proud of some of these. Of course, then
Yes.
we have the Tony
That
Jackass
one's my
picture there.
favorite. I think that one's my favorite.
If I
Yeah, go
wasn't afraid of
ahead,
getting
put
sued,
it
I'd
up.
put that on a T-shirt. So as I listened to the CMLL discussion today, and I got squirrely. Yeah, I don't
It
know if
looks
I'm
like
proud of this
Pringles,
or not.
kind of. It looks like Pringles,
It looks
kind of.
like the guy on the Pringles can. Yeah.
Yep.
If, I don't know if I'm proud of that yet or not. Uh,
All right,
okay.
Reb. I'm gonna let you answer this because he's asked it twice now.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yes. I didn't put it to Justin because I don't think he was still in the on the roster when she got there to the baby. But yeah. So Matt's asking, what are you guys' thoughts on Ashley and Massaro? It's a fucking shame. What
yeah,
just to the nuts of it. That's just fucking horrible. What for those that don't know, there's a suit out that she got sexually assaulted on one of the military tours in I forget what
yeah.
year it was by some of the military personnel that were there, and she went to the
She
office.
got
I forget
left
who
there,
she said
didn't
she went
she?
to. Did she get left there?
I thought
She
I
may
heard she
have.
got left there.
I
And
I'm
I
not sure.
there's there's so much that's surrounding that Matthew, we appreciate the question, but we're trying to
Yes.
avoid anything with it just because we don't want to get
Yeah,
wrapped
we don't
up
have
or
all the
quoted
facts,
or
and we don't
we don't
want to.
have the
Yeah.
facts. We don't know. A personal opinion,
No,
I
with that
think Vince is
said,
a pig, but
well,
that's all there is.
Vince is a special kind of shithead. I'll just say it.
Yeah,
It's with everything that Obari is confirming. Yes, she did get left there. So yeah,
yeah,
that's just beyond horrible what
yeah.
happened there. But yeah, it's just and it came out right around the time all this other stuff is getting brought up
Dropped
about
out, yeah.
Vince, and yeah, it's well, I like to say I appreciate the appreciation. It's a slippery slope to for sure to get into all the weeds and all this. 'Cause I'm not a smart man. I don't I don't have a law degree. I'm not an expert on anything except for pro wrestling. pretty much.
So we don't want to open our
But
mouth and insert foot is basically where we're
yeah,
going
if
with
because
it.
if I try to wax extra knowledgeable, I'm gonna sound like a friggin' idiot. And it's easy enough to do that without that. AJ chimed in. The poor woman went through so much trauma in her time in WWE, RIP, and I hope her family is holding up as best they can with all the new info coming out. I'm
Yeah.
not going to be surprised if her family goes after Vince in some sort of civil
I bet
situation.
they wait. I bet they wait and see what happens with this other one first.
Well, yeah,
I think that'll be
those-
what'll happen.
yeah. So it's one of those things. I hate to say wait and see, but yeah, I mean, just the facts alone are just mind-boggling and
Yeah,
horrifying to think about.
as anybody can be
about
like that.
all
Whatever.
of this stuff going on with
Yeah, the
Vince.
whole situation.
Yeah. Yes, she
Well, there
does
you
have
go.
a young daughter. I forget how old she is at this point, but yeah, I know when she died, I remember them talking about her having a little girl. So
All right,
uh,
let's switch subjects. Sorry,
should
I
they?
brought it up, but let's switch. Let's
That's
switch.
no, it's fine. Hey, if the question comes in, we gotta
We'll
address
at
it
least address
somehow.
it.
But
We'll address it.
yeah,
How
I
about
want to
we
talk
go
about.
into?
Oh, I was gonna
Well,
say I
I'm
want to get
calling
back
you
into
out because
TNA
you
real
know
quick.
more. I was just gonna say that was where I was gonna
Okay.
take you to,
All right. So
because
we
you need
kind
to
of
fill
touched
me in
on.
because I kind of missed
Okay.
bits and pieces of this. So fill me in.
Okay. So we kind of know uh, what's going. Like Scott D'Amore got let go by Anthem. I guess the story is he wasn't happy with the budget that they were being given for the company, and he wanted to either get a bigger budget or buy the company outright, and then they let him go. The the roster seems like has not taken it well, to
No,
put it lightly.
no.
Uh, he was,
It,
this is a fair question for a newcomer. Is there a theme or questions open to any subject related to wrestling? Uh,
the name of our
Generally the
podcast is
latter.
Jumping the Rail.
Yes. Yeah, we tend to go off topic very very confidently on this show. Sometimes we have a theme, or at least we have a theme for a portion of the shows. But if something comes up, we'll hop in and we'll talk about it.
We'll give our
Uh,
2 cents.
in
We're
this
pretty good at
case,
that.
yeah. Getting back to this TNA stuff here. After Scott got let go, the roster kind of took up arms, jumping to his defense. Everybody apparently just loves Scott in the company. Uh, whether it's a guy like Chris Sabin, who I believe more trained to come into the
Yeah,
business, Alex Shelley. Uh,
yeah.
and then just like Tommy Dreamer said, he's one of his best friends. And on Busted Open, he actually, and this isn't hard for Tommy, he got very emotional talking about it.
No,
Tommy's an
not
emotional guy.
Tommy.
I know.
Not
But
Tommy.
anyway, I don't have the letter in front of me, but the company or the roster sent Anthem a letter basically taking up for Scott is a good way to
Yeah.
put it. And I don't know if that's going to get them anywhere. I think they said they basically told Anthem that the best person for the position of creative running the company, whatever it was, is Scott D'Amore. They would like to see them try to get it back. I don't know
Hmm.
if that's the best look for the roster, if you think about it. Uh, I mean, I get the loyalty. Actually, that was one of the things I was going to ask Justin about was being loyal to a promoter because you had Heyman, so he
Yeah.
knows a thing or two. We'll save that for part three.
There you go.
But anyway, over the last few days, there have been several talent that have just been tweeting this out, just an hourglass on their social media. This is just a few of them. See Mike Bailey, Tommy Dreamer, Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich, Chris Bay, just to name a few. I think Josh Alexander did also, and we don't know
I'll
what the
check and look.
context is of that. I wonder if it's just talking about once like how long their
I
contract
would wonder if
is
it's once
for.
their contract's up. Yeah.
Because earlier today, TNA put out something on social media here, Menders. Check this out. TNA exercises option to extend Josh Alexander's contract after he put the
Ooh.
hourglass up. So
Okay.
uh, that could be sticky. It's
Yeah. It sounds like it
like
could
I said,
be.
I'm not a legal beagle or anything, but yeah, it's those contracts. You got to make sure you got the language in there that you want. I know
I
that
would,
just from losing a little piddly bet to an independent wrestler in Mattoon, Illinois.
Yep, you sure do.
Yeah, it is what it is. But
Let's see. I have a
oh,
question.
Matthew Sheffel chiming in here, Minderz. Hang on one second. According to From Spiteful Select, Josh Alexander had reportedly requested TNA not exercise the extension option in his contract. He intended to explore free agent, but Anthem extended his contract. Ooh, that's Bischoff move right there. That's a WCW
That is a Bischoff move.
Yeah. AJ says you got to think Jordan Grace has an offer from WWE waiting on her when her contract is up. Oh, you know she impressed people in that Royal Rumble.
She did. That was one of the ones they've been talking
Triple H
about.
said that. Hunter said as much in the press conference, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Anthem might be. Oh, what do you got? Yep, he had posted the hourglass.
He posted the hourglass. That was.
I don't have the time on that.
1:57 on the 19th. So that was yesterday.
Okay, and then today they announced that they extended his contract. Yeah, it's
Jordan Grace replying to the Walking Weapon.
Oh my. And the thing
is,
my God, Josh is in a sticky spot too because his wife is the ring announcer. Jay Chung has a job as a ring announcer in TNA now.
And somebody else is posting. Puzzled. Well,
that's a lot of hourglasses.
That was just on Josh's X.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So apparently it's mean.
That's something we're gonna have to keep.
Yeah, we gotta keep our eye on that one. We gotta keep our eye on that one. There? And then they also posted this.
Oh man, it's
so.
Yeah, so hopefully it's not something malicious, but
I hate to see that because TNA has been. AJ, we know.
AJ says it's selfish to hope when Josh is a free agent we get FTR versus the North. That is one of the few times I'm going to say that I would want Alexander to go to AEW just to put him back with Ethan Page again. But if not, and I know it's a moot point now that he's been extended, I think he would be huge in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah. He's a big boy.
He can make good money there. It's not even that he's a big boy. He's a tough guy. He can wrestle. He checks all the boxes that they look for in New Japan.
Yeah.
But that's, it's a moot point now because they extended him.
Yep. Well, how long is the extension for?
That I don't know. It's
because they extended it, but was it like a year, 2 years, 6 months? If it's 6 months, I could just go ahead and run it out. Whatever, that's fine. But
right, I got a feeling if they're extending him, it's going to be longer, and it's going to be a year at least. If I had to guess.
That's what I'm thinking. At least a year, maybe 2.
Yeah. But anyway, we're going to keep an eye on that situation because it's definitely a sticky one for.
Ooh, AJ has a good point.
Oh, AJ has a good point. Extensions probably for the length of however long he was injured last year, which is standard procedure when you got a wrestler under contract. So that makes a lot of sense. Man, our chat is on the ball today, Minderz.
I know. I'm so proud.
I think he was out for about 9 months. Yeah.
He was out for about 9. So.
Yeah.
So about a year.
All right.
Well, let's move on to you move on to WWE.
Let's move on to WWE. We got to talk about the Elimination Chamber because that's coming up on Saturday.
Are you getting up at 5?
Got the full. I got to work, so I'm going to be up at 5, but I'm not going to be able to watch it live. I have to watch it later on. Okay. So they have the full field lined up for both chamber matches.
Okay, can we talk Raw first? We need to talk Raw.
Let's talk Raw first. Can I show you my favorite part of Raw?
Sure.
During the main event, well, the entrances of the main event, when Jey Uso came out and Pat McAfee's up on the table doing the hands, this happened. Gunther caught him. Just gave him a look, and Pat stopped. Holy.
I forgot about that. I do remember seeing that.
Oh my god! I popped. I popped so hard when that happened.
So fun.
Oh my god.
Although I will tell you, I
Raw
thought Gunther
last.
was going to lose it last night. I really thought
So
he
did
was going
I.
to lose it. I was
I
scared to death.
yeah. Raw last night was very good. It was bookended by two very good matches. Cody and Drew
Yes.
at the beginning, Gunther and Jay at the main event. Uh, I liked the
With the
thread of
same
the bloodline
problem
being there.
happening. As I say, with the same problem happening at both of those
Mm-hmm.
matches.
Mm-hmm. Uh, I won't lie. A part of me thought that Jimmy was going to help Jay win the title and then jump him,
Mm-hmm.
and then it would be a title match at Mania between the two of them. But
Right.
I told you this before we went on the air. This just that 5 minutes or so last night did more for Jimmy Uso than the last year after they lost the tag
Yes.
titles. And
I'll
I've
agree.
told you I always liked Jimmy better than Jay in the ring. Like going back
Mm-hmm.
to when they first got here. And Jay has really elevated himself to his credit because he's not having to be involved with the bloodline every week. He's not on SmackDown
Right.
anymore.
Right.
Jimmy kind of got, especially with The Rock being there, Jimmy kind of got pushed a little bit farther back into the shuffle in the bloodline.
Yeah.
But what he just did last night, though, really it got my attention when he came in. I I love the fact that they're going to have a match at WrestleMania. It's going to add to the Ole heel turn when it happens.
I know.
Um,
We've booked this in our head. It's happening.
oh, we really have. Oh my
It's
God,
happening.
JTR Mania. We may have to lay it all out, cards on the tables,
Yeah.
and see what happens. See
All
what
of our
what
cards on
actually
the
happens.
table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
But
let's see. Raquel Rodriguez back last night. She qualified
that
for the
was
chamber match.
that's the reason I wouldn't let you talk chamber yet till
The
we
back.
talked. The back is back. And you know what? I don't hate it. I wouldn't hate it. She's still green.
Part of me hoped that Chelsea Green was going to get eliminated when she popped up.
What?
I'm kidding. I
God,
like
I
Chelsea,
hope
but
so.
yeah, no.
The only way it could have been worse is if Maxine Dupree would have won. I was waiting for the spit take. I was hoping for it.
Shame, Minderz. Hey, we say it every week. Maxine Dupree won the lottery by getting a gimmick where she has to be a bad wrestler.
Yes.
And I'm sure she's very nice. Accomplished cheerleader for the Los Angeles Rams, of course.
Yeah.
Something that needs to be discussed. Apparently, there were plans for Jade Cargill at the chamber that got scrapped. I wonder if she was supposed to be in the chamber. If that's the case,
I kept
I'm glad
waiting
they
to see
scrapped
if
it
she
because
I was waiting to see if she was going to come out last night.
yeah, I think this would be a horrible place for your first official match.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rumble's one thing. You got to put her in a one-on-one
Rumble
program
you can
before you ever
hide.
put her in a chamber. Yeah.
The Rumble
Chamber
you can
match,
hide.
you're literally enclosed in a structure
Yeah.
with 5 other girls. I think Jade. I won't be surprised if they're still going to do something with Jade and Bianca at Mania. Barry said there is a press conference Thursday afternoon. I will be on the road. I will not be able to see that, but I'll be keeping my ear to the ground on that one. So women's chamber match. I'm trying to actually. I'm going to get the matches up here. Oh, having
for the
Google
women's
access
chamber
right here.
with the women's chamber, it's Liv, Becky, Raquel, Bianca, and Naomi. Is that everybody?
Okay.
Nope. One more. There's one more.
Oh.
Who am I forgetting?
Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton. Yeah.
Yeah. Men's match. We got Kevin Owens, L.A. Knight, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bobby Lashley, Logan Paul. I told you what I think is going to happen there, Minderz. Logan's going to eliminate Owens. L.A. Knight's going to eliminate Logan. And then Logan's going to defend his title against L.A. Knight at WrestleMania.
I could see that.
But now that said, I am picking Drew McIntyre to win that men's chamber match. I don't think I'm in the minority there. I think Becky wins the
I really don't feel
match.
like this is one of the times I don't feel like there's going to be a surprise. I don't feel like there's going to be a surprise. I think Rhea's going over.
Can we
I think
hope?
the Judgment Day is going over. God, I hope Rhea goes over.
Yeah, I think the Judgment Day will. I think they're going to drop the titles at Mania. I just don't know against who.
Yeah,
I'm thinking. Actually, I do think I know who. I think it's going to be Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth.
yeah. Well,
Get
and I still think if Drew, okay, so if Drew wins, which we're pretty sure he will, Drew's gonna go against Seth,
yeah, naturally.
and I think Drew's gonna win and Priest is gonna cash in.
Because yeah, Priest still has that issue with Drew.
Yep. So I think that's
Which,
what's gonna happen.
If they're not careful, that's gonna make Drew a babyface again. And right now, he is cooking with
He's so
every
good
kind of
as a
gas you
heel.
can imagine. Oh my god, the promos
So
alone
good.
have been just insanely good.
Well, or could it turn Damian face? Could he turn his back on Judgment Day?
It could be something where maybe Drew jumps Priest, takes his spot in Judgment Day. Then Drew's the leader.
We kept thinking that was going to
possibilities are
happen.
endless.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to happen in Survivor Series. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay. Start talking to people here. Hang on 1 second here, Minderz.
Okay, you can find out what that was all about. But yeah, so I don't know. AJ, Bari, help me out. That's true. AJ made a good point and said we still don't know what matches happen on what night. Priest could have a whole day to recover between the tag title match and the cashing in. We just don't know yet.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
Stacy
are we
was
good?
squealing with delight because apparently CJ Perry got announced for the Expo.
Oh, okay. Have Priest lose, cash in by Judgment Day, helping Drew.
Hey, that's another option. Like I said, the possibilities are wide open at this point, and we love the fact we don't know for sure what's going to happen.
I know. That's the best part about it. Yep, she just got
Yes.
announced, and so did the Hex.
Oh, nice. They'll be back for the probably the Square Circle show because they were on there a couple years ago. Let's see.
Yep.
Hey, I have a bone to pick, Minderz. Speaking of the Expo, going back to last year, I had the privilege of meeting one Rikishi Fatu at the show. Of course, one of the elders of the bloodline.
I wondered if you were going to bring this up.
And we took the picture. Number one, could not have been a nicer guy. He was a very nice man.
He was very nice.
So we took the picture with the finger, putting the finger up. I made a bit of a faux pas that got called out by the lady taking the picture, that maybe I not do that. This is what I did. What do you notice there, Minderz?
It's an
L. And no, I'm
L.
not calling Rikishi a loser, but the thumb got away from me doing the finger.
Now,
Yeah, Stacy thought I was doing the low lives thing. That was not the case, but
I'm pretty sure that was the case, but that's okay. I'm pretty sure that's where it went
it was
because you
not
were
the
just
case.
so used to do. You were so used to doing
Maybe.
this that
yeah, maybe that's it. But anyway,
what did I
so that was
call
a year ago. Well, I'll take you back to Friday, Minderz. Number one, round of applause to The Rock for the promo.
Yeah. You'll really like.
Oh yeah, the Zuba. Oh yes, my friend, I am a big fan of Zubaz and other comfortable pants options. And the Expo is about the only place I can get away with wearing my Zubaz without my wife really giving me shit about it.
That's because there's a lot of them there. That's because there's a lot of them there.
That's very true. Hey, I'll have you know, Jimmy Hart complimented my pants last year.
Good.
My Otomix weightlifting pants. So I felt vindicated.
AJ, I love
AJ.
you. Somebody put that up.
What if Mania ends with Rikishi giving Cody a stink face while the bloodline celebrates?
I did it for the bloodline.
So anyway.
Great. Yes.
So anyway, you saw me do the inadvertent L motion. Then on Friday, look at The Rock. Number one, the shirt is fantastic. Bravo. I love this version of The Rock.
Screw up. What?
But look at the hand. I don't have a telestrator like Pat McAfee, but look at the hand. Look at that right hand up in the air.
It's an L.
And it's an L pointed at Roman. I'm not one to stir the pot. That's your job, Minderz, to stir the pot.
That is my job. Wait, hold on.
That got a lot
I've got it too.
that got a lot of people talking after Friday about, is Roman can he trust The Rock going into WrestleMania?
There were some other things, especially in that promo.
There was a couple things. Yeah, when Rock said when he was talking to Cody, he said, "I'm going to make sure that you leave a loser,"
Finish
but
your
he was
story.
pointing in the general direction of Roman Reigns when he said, "You will be a loser." Paraphrasing, of course. But what else did you notice, Minderz?
There was that, and there was something else. Rock said, "Gosh dang it! I wish I could remember now, because there was something else I noticed."
If I wouldn't get dinged on YouTube, I'd play the clip. But
yeah, right. There was another part where he was referring, like, the bloodline would consider he was referring to Cody, but he was looking at all of the bloodline when he said it. And I don't hold on. I gotta find it.
There's a lot of people wondering what the hierarchy is of the bloodline now that The Rock is involved. They're wondering, is Roman still the leader because he's the tribal chief? If you go back and look at that big family tree thing that they showed at the press event, The Rock is listed as a high chief. So I think he should outrank the Roman in the hierarchy of the bloodline. And that could be a sticking point later too.
It could be.
That's it. I still like this though.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that, honestly.
Uh-huh. Oh my goodness. So
I wish I could find that, because somebody had broke it down and I'd seen it. This is what I get. Okay. Oh, Bully even said it. Bully said it online.
Did he?
Yeah, Bully Ray said they have it circled, the L. And it said, "This is not the proper hand gesture when acknowledging our tribal chief. What do you make of this?"
Okay, I didn't see that, but I thought you meant he saw something else.
Nope.
That,
I was looking. I wish there was I wish I could find where it was at. Maybe it was on. Okay, talk. I don't like this dead air.
Oh, sorry. I was getting ready for my the next segment.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it's high drama when we get the dead air, Minderz, even though it's not really great radio. But yeah. So other matches that we got for the chamber match, of course, we got Rhea and Nia. I think we agreed Nia's gonna probably take the loss on that one.
Oh, Rock said something about quit being crybabies.
Oh yes.
He made another reference about crybabies.
And he was looking at the bloodline. Okay.
So that was another thing I had seen.
Okay.
So I don't know. There's a lot of things that when I saw it, I was like, now wait a minute. And I know a lot of people are pointing it out too, and it's just kind of like, okay, so I'm not the only one seeing these things. So it's not just, I don't know if it is a fluke or not or what. So.
Yeah.
I was making sure you were still there because you were like in a state of trance or something.
I'm just getting a little bit squirrely with the pictures there. I always gotta be careful that I don't have too many on here that then I can't properly upload.
Wild screenwriter, bad news for you. Neither one of us have seen the whole thing yet.
What's that?
He says they say they're a working screenwriter. Have you guys seen The Iron Claw? And if so, what did you think? And neither one of us have seen all of it, right?
I have not seen all of it. I am planning on, now that it's on streaming, I'm planning on doing that very soon. I've heard great things about it. I've heard some complaints about it too, but I'm waiting to give my full opinion until I've actually gotten to see the movie.
Right.
Oh, shoot, what did I do?
We're poor, wild screenwriter. That's how that works.
Yeah, it's true.
But okay. So are you working on? Okay. So what else do we know for sure that's happening at Chamber Predictions?
Oh, we
We
have the Grayson Waller effect with Cody
oh
Rhodes
dear
and
God.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Yay. I'm sorry. I don't like Grayson Waller. The more I see him, the more I
He's
dislike him.
he's okay. I'm not as high on him as I was when he first got to the main roster, just because they kind of made him a. If they actually put some time into the tag team with Theory, I'd be better with it.
That's one guy
But
that I'm
right
so
now
bummed
he's
where
the
he's at now. Theory's so much better than that.
yes. The kid's a natural. Who are we
He
kidding?
is. He's very good.
All right,
But
just about
are you
got it
ready to do your
figured.
PWI flashback
Just
yet?
just about. I got one more photo that wasn't quite ready to roll. But now I
I was
think
gonna say,
we
because
are
we keep
good.
telling everybody that the reason we went to weekly was so it wouldn't be as long. We're
Yeah,
still
well, we're
running 2
coming up
hours.
on. Oh, that's why it wasn't a JPEG. Okay. Don't
Ah,
mind me talking to myself. Just enjoy
second.
the carnage. All right. So I
You
think
already
we
knew you were gonna
are.
get Waller on the card somehow. Doing this in his home country is the whole reason he got called up. I get it. I understand.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
He's just a schmuck in my opinion now. He's getting Miz heat from me. Like
Oh,
when I hated the Miz. He's getting Miz heat from me.
yeah. It's All right. I am ready to do this here, Menders. It is time to bring back a segment that we got some pretty good feedback on the first time we did it last month, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated flashback. And this is a segment where we will take a an issue of the Pro Wrestling Illustrated from the past and go through the rankings in the back of the magazine. I've actually got it truncated a little, Menders. I don't have quite as many categories this time, so it's going to go a little quicker. But I
Okay.
hit the high spots here. So. All right, so the
Well, I think
issue
the
we're
last
dealing
time I
with
was
here.
just curious.
Oh, last time was February of 1988.
Right?
I picked that because that was the first issue I ever got. We're sticking with February. I think when we do this, we're going to do it for the month that we are in on the show. Oh,
No,
hang on.
AJ,
AJ
it's
wants
not
to
that
know.
bad. It's not that bad. It's maybe your Seth Heat now. He'll know what I mean
All
by
right,
that.
so yes. So the issue we're going to talk about today is February of 1991.
I want
Oh,
to
we get
win
a
a free
free
trip
trip
for
for
two to
two.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania 7, 2000 was a good one.
That
Get the
was
Scott Steiner centerfold up there.
was
You
that
get the
wait, was that Toronto? No, Los
No,
Angeles.
no, this was LA. This is Hogan Slaughter.
That was LA. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Toronto was Hogan
I get
Warrior.
my I get my WrestleManias confused sometimes. I'm not
It's
Bari.
all good. It's all good. Yeah. So here we go. February of it's supposed to be 91. I forgot to fix that one. So I'm going to delete that so I don't look like a fool. If Chris
Too
Cooper
late.
was in here. All right. So we'll start where we started last time with the top 10. Now
Okay.
again, yeah. Just don't look at the bottom third. All right, so this is basically the overall top 10 wrestlers for that issue. And the issues from February, I think the press time was like November,
Right.
if I'm not
We figured out it
mistaken.
was like 3 months later than what it
Yeah,
said it, or 3 months earlier than what it said it was, but
yes. All right, so our top 10, here we go. We got Sting at number one. I was I was a little surprised at how low Hogan is on this top 10 list. Well, we got Sting at number one, Ultimate Warrior number two, Luger number three, Uh, Kerry Von Erich at number four. I think he was IC champion at press time. Mr. Perfect number five. Sid Vicious number six. Hogan seven. Ric Flair at eight, which is really,
that's
I
crazy.
was taken aback by that. Jerry the King Lawler number nine. And Steve Kern of the Future Skinner, former winner of the Fabulous Ones at number 10.
Yep.
So, yeah, the thing that sticks out is how low Hogan and Flair are on this list. But at the time, at press time, Stinger was the world champion, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Warrior was in the hottest run of his career at this point as the world champion. Luger, U.S. champion. I think this was like his year-long reign after he beat. Uh, no, it's not. I was wrong. This is after he beat Hansen to win the belt back.
Oh, okay.
So he was basically after Sting, the biggest baby face in WCW. Of course, carries the IC champ, perfect as number one contender. So that justifies the top five for me.
Well, with that might justify the Ric Flair too being that low, because he would have
True.
been the major heel in
Flair
WCW.
Flair was, well, yeah. I mean, this isn't most popular. This is just top 10
Right.
overall. But this
Right.
is also when Flair was doing a lot of tag teaming with Double A, going after Doom. He wasn't really in the world title hunt at this point. Sid was the Horseman going after Sting mostly for the world title by that point.
Yeah.
You were right, AJ. Warrior had the power of Destrucity. Oh, that guy. Remember when he wore the hat and
Yeah.
and Lawler was pissed.
Well,
All right. So that is our overall top 10. Moving on, we will go to top 10 tag teams here.
ew,
I
this
could
will be
swear
fun.
I know. You're gonna like most of these, I think, Minderz. All right. So number one, we got the Hart Foundation.
My
The
boys.
press time world champs in WWF. Doom number two. Steiner Brothers number three. Arn and Rick at number four. Rhythm. I'm gonna take the back.
Yeah,
I
can
gotta
you
take the
take that
corner thing off.
down?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Not before I have some fun. That one might be better.
That's hilarious. Okay, take it off.
All right. So Rhythm and
Why are we being
Blues.
so wait, use your Valentine one.
Oh, there we go. Oh shoot, I already took it off of there after
Oh
Valentine's
no.
Day. Ah, opportunity
Okay.
missed.
Opportunity missed.
Hey, we're gonna meet Rhythm and Blues at the Expo, Minderz.
I know, I'm so excited.
Yes.
That's
Let go
one
of
of the
my
ones I'm
toe.
let go of my toe.
All right. Number six, the Nasty Boys. Demolition number seven. All three when they were a trio. Rip and Larry Oliver. I believe from the Memphis area here, number eight. Doug Gilbert and the Dirty White Boy Tony Anthony at number nine. And then the Young Pistols, Steve Armstrong and Tracy Smothers at number 10. I love Tracy Smothers.
Tracy's one that I wish he would have got his. I wish he would have gotten that EW locker room.
When we meet Tommy Rich, I'm hoping we can maybe get a Tracy story or two out of him.
I'm hoping.
Tommy would make for a fun panel.
Yeah, he would.
Right.
I'm interested to see because they haven't announced. They haven't announced all the panels yet, so I'm super
I'm
excited
waiting for
about
that.
that.
All right. Next up, most popular, February of 91. Again, ignore the bottom. I'm firing my graphics guy after this.
You can't fire yourself. Sorry.
Okay, fine.
That can't happen because, well, one, I don't have all access to all the stuff
Slap
that you
on the
do.
wrist to me.
There you go.
All
Slap
right.
on the wrist.
That kind of hurt. I hit right
Do you
on
want
the
me to
funny
sick
bone.
Anakin on you? I should sick Anakin on you.
No. All right. Next up, so we're doing our most popular top 10 here.
Okay.
All right, here's where Hogan's number one.
Yeah.
He's still Hogan.
Uncle Fred.
Uncle Fred is on there. So Hogan number one, Stinger number two, Luger three, Warrior four, Carey five, Scott Steiner number six. Look at that baby face right there.
No kidding.
Tugboat, Uncle Fred, Shockmaster, Typhoon, whatever you want to call him. He was Tugboat Thomas at this point.
Yep.
At number seven. Big Boss Man. I love the Boss Man. Number eight. Lawler, number nine. Jake, number 10. This is, of course, before the Cobra angle with Macho when he was still a babyface.
Oh, I hated that angle. I seriously think that's kind of why I hate snakes to this day.
You're not a fan of snakes, eh?
No, I hate nope ropes.
Nope rope. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a nope rope.
Yeah,
I don't
Stacey
even like
doesn't care for
AJ's.
them either.
I don't like AJ has one at his, not in his apartment, but he has one. And Slither. And I'm not even a fan of Slither. And Slither's not a mean snake whatsoever, and I'm terrified.
I don't do snakes. I don't do
I don't do
snakes.
snakes. Nope ropes.
All right. All right. Moving on. Number. Well, I'm not doing top 10 Tuesday. Most hated. There we go.
Ooh, this will be fun. This will be a
All
lot of
right.
my favorites.
Yes. Actually,
Well,
this one
kind
they
of.
only had a list of 9 on this one when I looked it up. I don't know
Huh.
why.
Look
But
who's number
anyway.
9.
Yep. All right. So starting off, Sid Vicious is number 1 here on the most hated, followed by Earthquake,
Huh?
Million
I
Dollar Man
hated
Ted
Earthquake.
DiBiase
Hated Earthquake.
because he squished Hogan.
I did. That was when I actually sent a get well card to Hogan.
Nice.
I was very well. What's the word I'm
Smitten.
looking for? No,
Smitten.
not smitten. Brainwashed. That's the word I was looking for.
All right. So Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase number 3. The Black Scorpion is number 4. Oh, that's the Black Scorpion is what I thought the Devil angle was going to amount to in AEW.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that vividly
I do too.
when Earthquake squashed Damien.
Yep.
Oh, that I don't like snakes, but that tugs at the old heartstrings
That one
when
did.
Jake looked in the bag.
Yeah.
All right, number 5. Oh, my man Stan Hansen, the Lariat.
Yep.
The late great Eddie Gilbert, number 6. Ric Flair, number 7 on most hated. Again,
That seems low.
Yeah, because he was still with the Horsemen, but again, they were feuding with Doom though, so maybe that had something to do with it at this point, because they didn't know he was the Black Scorpion, or they didn't tell him he was the Black Scorpion yet.
Was Al Perez the original Black Scorpion?
I don't think he ever. I think the plan was for Al to be the Black Scorpion at Starrcade, but he never put the mask on.
Ah.
I forget who else. It was just an army of jobbers for the most part.
Fun.
Number 8, the Sarge, the hated Iraqi turncoat, Sergeant Slaughter. I would have thought he'd be higher on this at this point.
91?
Doing the Iraqi sympathizer thing during the
Yeah.
Gulf War?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, February.
This would have been November, so this is right when he turned.
So it would have been a
turned on
little
America.
bit before. Yeah.
Around Survivor Series.
Yeah.
But he
Okay.
had that nuclear heat though when he.
He did.
This is indeed an odd list.
Mm-hmm.
Then of course, stunning Steve Austin from Hollywood, California is number 9 on this list. There, look at that head of hair.
I know. That's what I'm like. Oh my gosh. So different.
Yes. All right. Then,
Did we have the women's or no?
There was not a women's list on this one.
Okay.
I've got a couple where we got the WWF and then WCW, and that.
Oh yeah, because we do the territories. I forgot.
Yeah. This one, both of these, they have the champion and then the top 10 on these lists.
Right.
So I got a little creative.
Oh boy.
So
all right.
I feel bad for Rick Martel with my editing.
Sorry, Rick.
But Warrior is the world champion. There he is in the middle there. Number 1 contender is Kerry Von Erich, at the time Intercontinental Champion, back when that actually signified number 1 contendership.
Although I think they're bringing it back.
I hope so.
I think they're bringing it back. Yep, Tornado.
Mr. Perfect number 2, Macho King number 3, Earthquake 4, DiBiase 5. That's a strong top 5.
That is a strong top 5.
6 through 10, you got Sarge number 6, Hogan 7, which seems low for Hogan.
Yeah.
To be that low on the contenders list. Rick Martel, I assure you, his face is there. It's just hidden behind the.
He had his arrogance
thighs.
with him.
Yes, he had that great pin. Yes, I am a model on his jacket.
Loved it.
Yes, Dusty Rhodes number 9, and then Dino Bravo, the late great Dino Bravo number 10.
Wow. Dino.
Yes, man, he got a bad break. Peddling those cigarettes.
Yeah. Hey, little tidbit. Dark Side of the Ring starts back up soon.
Yes,
I'm so
I saw
excited.
That. All right. The last list we got, Minderz, here it was still NWA in November 1990. So
I thought it was 91.
Well,
90.
the issue was 91, but it's press time.
Gotcha.
All right. So I was more careful this time. Sting is our world champion. I got him in a slightly smaller circle so we can see all the faces.
I might have been a little bit more irritated had you covered up JYD.
JYD.
Just saying.
All right. So number one contender, United States Heavyweight Champion Lex Luger, of course. Number two, Sid Vicious, the guy that challenged Sting at Halloween Havoc. The Black Scorpion, number three. Stan Hansen, former U.S. champion there, number four. He just lost the title. Double A, my guy, Arn Anderson, number five.
Yep.
Ric Flair, number six. And again, I think he's this low because he was mostly doing tag team at this point.
Yeah.
Terrence Taylor, if you will, from the York Foundation, here at number seven. Fun fact, Minderz, that is the same robe Bobby Roode used to wear to the ring in TNA.
I wondered.
Because Terry was working for the company at the time, and he let Bobby
Okay.
use the robe. Number eight, JYD, Junkyard Dog, of course. Then a couple of oddballs here. We got the Juicer at number nine. Do you remember the Juicer?
I do not.
That is Art Barr
I was
under
gonna say,
under the gimmick. The late
Wild.
great Art Barr, former tag team partner of Eddie Guerrero,
Yeah.
inventor of the Frog Splash, by the way.
Okay.
He didn't have a long run in WCW at the time. He went back to Mexico. Then number 10, Norman the Lunatic. If you might remember better as Bastion Booger in the WWF
Oh,
later on.
poor guy. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yes.
The
So
worst
that's,
gimmick ever. Holy cow.
Yeah. I'm just glad P and News isn't on this.
Yeah.
Oh, yo baby, yo, as he said.
Oh boy.
That guy had no flow. He was a worse rapper than Max Caster.
Wow. I don't think Max is that bad, but okay.
His flow is sketchy to me. Which
Sometimes. Sometimes it's great.
I'm an urban poet myself, so it's all right. Well, Minderz, before we get out of here, let's talk about who we got coming up on the show. And we already paid the bills, so we're good.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, February 27th, Lenny Mephisto, a St. Louis area promoter, wrestler in Pro Wrestling Epic down by St. Louis.
Whee!
Yeah, we got a lot of guys to talk about with him because a lot of the St. Louis guys come up around our area.
We do. I'm excited.
Yep. Let me make sure I've got my schedule organized here. Where is it?
Well, after that is Mike Outlaw.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't get them out of order here.
Okay. I'm just reminding you so you don't.
Oh, yeah, I'll throw Outlaw up there. There we go.
There's Mike Outlaw.
If you haven't seen Mike Outlaw, you're missing out. Yeah, check out his stuff.
So good.
Big Hoss from St. Louis. That's on March 5th.
Yes.
And then on the next week, March 12th, Hardcore Heather Owens, our buddy from the Squirt Circle Expo.
Excited.
She's going to come on and talk with us about that. I think she's actually wrestling again this year at the Expo.
She is. Yep. She is.
Maybe
now, she didn't want to do it last year, so I wonder how she got roped into it this year.
I don't know.
We're going to have to ask.
Yeah, and hopefully she'll have some cool tidbits for us going, because it's a couple weeks before the Expo when she comes on.
It is.
So she might have some more info for us. March the 19th, Paulie Tomaselli from the Chicago area, independent star there. A guy I've been watching since about 2006, and I'm glad to have him on. Oh, hang on. Wild Screenwriter, thanks for a cool show. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're not a stranger. Come back to us again.
Check us out on Facebook.
Yes. Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff. And yeah.
JTR.
So, yeah. Yes. If you go on the podcast info, I'll have all that on there too. Yeah, like I said, Paulie Tomaselli should be a fun one. The week after that, you're excited about this one, Minderz. Jake Owen.
I'm so excited.
This is the go home show before the Expo.
Who's he fighting again? Riddle.
Matt Riddle.
Riddle.
Yeah. Bro. All right. And then we don't have a guest announced yet for April 2nd. You know what? That's when we're starting our Mulkey Cup, so I don't know if we're gonna have time for a guest on there. But
we might have to invite AJ and Barry in.
Oh yeah, they'll be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. April 9th. We mentioned it with Justin. Jason Knight, sexiest man on earth from ECW, is going to
The
join
show I'm going to
us.
miss. I'm so bummed.
Yeah, Minderz is not going to be here for that one. It's going to be me and Bari. Then then I guess I can announce it on April 30th. We got another guest announcement to make. Uh, if you have a favorite wrestler, odds are that this guy either knows them on a personal level or has worked with them. I don't have the picture yet because it really just happened before we went on the air. The Cuban assassin Fidel Sierra is going to join us. He's like I
You're
said,
going to
he's
send me
seen and
homework.
yeah, he's seen everything. He's worked with everybody. He's got stories about everybody. I'm really looking forward to this one. And from the conversations I had with him, seems like a cool guy. Ah, yep. There we go. And yeah, that's kind of a big get. He's one of that. We've had some pretty good names from Florida on this show, Menders. We had Bill Alfonso early on. We had Jack
I said that
Victory
was
about a month
before my
ago.
time.
Yeah,
Bill Alfonso's
Barry
before me.
Horowitz we've had on. I'm still
I'm,
working on getting a second Barry episode
we
going
need to
with
get
Barry
another Barry
Horowitz.
episode because I want to be on with Barry.
Okay, I will hit him up. I think we can make that happen. But we'll
Although I really want to talk to the Brooklyn Brawler when we go to the expo and see if we can't get him
yes.
on.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
What?
I said, wouldn't it?
It would.
I
Absolutely.
want him on so bad.
That would be cool. So that's all the guests we have so far. I got to figure out what day we're gonna do this. We have to do our JTR Mania 3 before WrestleMania. It's
Which
about
is just
figuring
going to
out
be a YouTube live,
it's
right?
just YouTube exclusive. It's not gonna drop as a
Yep.
podcast. Oh, hey, this guy knows. He loves his match with Norman Smiley in WCW. So
Sweet. Join
there we go.
us.
Yes, join us for all of them.
Yeah.
I'll say we got some. This is gonna be a lot of fun. This is maybe the busiest month we've had for guests in quite some time.
Which is awesome.
It's awesome. I love it. Uh, let's see. Yeah, so yeah, JTR Mania is just our WrestleMania preview we do every year on YouTube. Date to be determined right now.
Yeah, we're still in debates on when that's
Yeah,
going to be.
it's probably gonna have to be on the Thursday
Yeah.
that week. Because,
So hopefully our other podcasts, they don't have a really kick-ass show that night. So
right. That or we'll do a live from Edgewood.
there you go. How? The internet sucks.
Well, I'll just do it like on my phone. We'll just do the
We're going to do
video
it in the
and
car on the way down. Is that how we're going to do it?
yeah, maybe. We'll
Stacy
discuss. We'll discuss. But
All
anyway, so let's get out of here. We've gone longer than we typically plan to. Now
Hey,
that
we
we've
had
gone
a
weekly,
good guest, so I'm not complaining.
we had a great guest. Thank you to Just Incredible for joining us. Yeah, so I think we will go ahead and we will say goodbye until next Tuesday with Lenny Mephisto. If I guess
Check
cheap
out
plug,
tomorrow.
01 Shootout tomorrow night. We will be joined by the masked enigma known as LDLC from
Yeah.
Thursday Night Throwdown,
That
and
guy.
yeah, and then we'll talk about the 01 show coming up on Saturday also. So join us for
We have
that.
to make our picks this week.
Yes, we do. But yeah, so I think we are ready to get out of here, Menders. Do you have anything you want to say before we go?
Let's get out of
Oh,
here.
wait, you know what I forgot?
What'd you forget?
Another example of Tony being ridiculous.
Oh boy.
Let me find the picture here. So last week on Dynamite was the 200th episode of, and I'm going to get the picture up here because it is. He says he wasn't involved in this. I tend to not agree. It's
Yeah, that was that. You know what? Somebody, I
yeah.
forget where I heard it. Maybe it was on Courtney's show today when I was listening to it. But they were talking about this, and they made the thing that maybe they should be thanking the fans instead of thanking Tony, because that's the only reason that they're still in business.
All right, so they put up a big friggin' sign on. I didn't do this, by the way. I didn't put Tony there. I just found this online. I thought it was too good. But they put up a big sign that said, "Thank you, Tony Khan," on the big screen for Dynamite's 200th episode. And I just thought that just is not a good look for for this company.
No, no.
Even if Tony says it wasn't his idea, and I guess we got to believe him. But even so, you can't approve that.
Mm-mm.
There has to be a conversation with the crew afterwards, like, "Hey, this is a bad look." It'd be like if they had WrestleMania 40, "Thank you, Vince McMahon" on there after WrestleMania this year.
Oh dear God,
Yeah, that
they
would not
can't
go
do
well.
that.
No,
Maybe
just
thanks, Trip. Thanks, Paul.
no. But Triple H would insist that you thank the fans. But it'd be like, this is our
Yeah.
74th episode, Minderz, of Jumping the Rail.
We've gone 70. Good Lord.
Well, since
Well,
day
you
one,
have.
not
I
just
haven't. Yeah.
right. So that'd be the equivalent if, like, say after the show, if I did this. See, not a good look. I feel dirty just showing this, and I don't mean it. I did that simply as a gag, just as a comparison, how that looks if the
Wait,
if the
so
boss
do you
puts
have
a
one? Do you have one yet for the shootout? Because that'd be pretty funny if you had one of David.
no, I don't have one for David.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, but I just wanted to get that out there. Number one, because I thought this was silly. Number one,
It
it was
was
silly that
silly.
Tony did this. And then
Right?
I was a smart ass, so I did that. But and by the way, I'm not taking full credit for it. This is another thing. I thank the listeners for 74 episodes
Yeah.
and all of my army of co-hosts that have helped me out over the last 3 years. But anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest before we get out of here. But now I think we've done enough this week,
Have we
Minders.
done enough? Is
I
Gary
think
going to
we've done
join us
enough.
again anytime soon?
I hope so.
I hope so too. I miss Gary.
Never happened. It's a word.
Exactly,
The
Gary.
bearded dragon. We love the
All right, let's
bearded
get out of
dragon
here.
and all
We're
this stuff.
meandering.
All right. Yeah, it was a big surprise. All right. So for Minders, this is Reb. Remind you all, life is hard, work stiff, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.